Yeah, this is, yeah, no, like, I'm human to human. It's tough. God, it's a tough spot. Yeah, everybody has a good reason. They've really faced it. That's why I don't like what I told them. The only person I have this with is
Okay, I'm just gonna. You want me to go in and ask?
perfect, thank you.
Mr. Simpson.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
I'm sorry, this is my colleague Mark.
Okay.
Also with the Associated Press. Would it be okay to just ask you the same questions for him so we can get them on camera while you wait, whatever it is that you're waiting for here?
I don't
Okay.
think so.
That's totally fine. I just thought I would ask. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks. Of course.
So if you guys just tuning in, we're tapping in. We got a mass shooting today in Minneapolis, in my home state.
With the chaplain.
Did it come into here?
Yeah.
This morning,
I will get that for like an hour.
in a few hours here, we're going to go into all the latest. You got the live cameras out there. We're going to get into all the latest. At least 2 children were killed and 17 were injured in a mass shooting at Minneapolis school. We get into all of it so far. I got the timeline. Here's a timeline of events. As of today, just going to catch you guys up. A lot of you guys have been following the breaking news all through this morning, but I need to sleep. Okay, can't just be up all time. I should probably go to bed a little earlier with my gaming, but we were up late. But I'm awake, and here we are. So what we know so far, at least 2 children were killed in a shooting in Minneapolis during a Catholic school mass to mark the first week of school. According to police, in a deliberate act of violence, the shooter is dead. Law enforcement officials said children ages 6 to 14 are being treated for injuries at a Minneapolis area healthcare system, with some in critical condition. Officials say the shooter fired through windows at people sitting in pews, injuring at least 17. And you got the timeline here. Timeline of events of Annunciation Catholic School. 8:30 a.m. 8:30 a.m. during an all-school mass Annunciation Catholic School in southwest Minneapolis. A man in his early 20s, dressed in black, opened fire from outside the church, shooting through windows. He was armed with a rifle, shotgun, and a pistol. A smoke bomb was later recovered at the scene. Immediately after shooting begins, students and staff sheltered inside the church as police responded rapidly. Gunfire struck children in the pews. 2 were killed, ages 8 and 10. 17 others were injured, including 14 children. The shooter died by suicide before police entered the building. Authorities confirmed there was no ongoing threat. From 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., emergency medical teams transported the injured to Hennepin Healthcare and Children's Minnesota Hospital. Multiple children underwent emergency surgery, with several listed in critical condition. Late morning, Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara called the shooting a barbaric and deliberate attack on children. Mayor Jacob Frey condemned the attack, describing it as a deliberate massacre of events. Governor Tim Walz confirmed state and federal agencies were assisting and declared the shooter had been contained. Trump was debriefed on the attack and said the White House is monitoring the situation. Recently, law enforcement located the shooter's vehicle nearby but found no additional explosives within the car. Trauma support centers and counseling resources were set up for families and students impacted. Authorities continue investigating the shooter's motive. Community leaders and clergy are preparing vigils and prayer services for the victims and the families. And that is the timeline of events and where we're at. Especially as we have college campus hoaxes taking place, and college campuses being swatted right now. You're getting calls in. We had Villanova. It was not a true school shooting. It was someone called in a fake one. So you got an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old right now. An 8-year-old and a 10-year-old right now. That were killed in a school shooting during Mass, marking the first week of school at Catholic school in Minneapolis. Parents rushed to the scene, hoping to be reunited with their children, now an all too familiar scene in America. 17 other people were injured. Just going off of CNN's reporting here. This is deliberate act of violence against innocent children and other police. Well, we're going to watch the press conference too. I'll get you guys that. Okay, we're going to get rid of some absolute psychotic trolls in my chat. Go fuck yourself. Jesus. The shooter is dead. The gunman died of self-inflicted gunshot wound. Gunman opened fire during Mass, so it was during the Mass. The shooter had attempted to block the doors with a 2x4.
Close enough to the actual crime scene where they're not releasing anything out of that area.
They're not releasing any new information. I'm just hearing the press in the background.
Yes, sir.
There's a school, a future filled with hope.
It's talking about the schism in the conservative movement.
We didn't. No, we were Middle East.
Big schism. They are a schism.
This is hot, so if we want to talk,
No,
should maybe
okay. Yeah,
stand.
okay, you're good.
If you're on this side of me,
You're good. You're good.
Hot mic. Okay, so this was they had a press conference. Mayor Jacob Frey was out there.
There are no words that can capture the horror and the evil of this unspeakable act. Children are dead. There are families that have a deceased child.
How far is this from me? Like 15 minutes. Like right down the road.
You cannot put into words the gravity, the tragedy, or the absolute pain of this situation. We are a Minneapolis family. But to everybody out there, do not think of these as just somebody else's kids. Those families are suffering immense pain right now. Think of this as if it were your own. Every one of us needs to be wrapping our arms around these families, giving them every ounce that we can muster. These were Minneapolis families. These were American families. And the amount of pain that they are suffering right now is extraordinary. And don't just say this is about thoughts and prayers right now. These kids were literally praying. It was the first week of school. They were in a church.
Anyone that offers thoughts and prayers during a time like this is not offering anything. I'm being serious.
These are kids that should be learning with their friends. They should be playing on the playground. They should be able to go to school or church in peace without the fear or risk of violence, and their parents should have the same kind of assurance. These are the sort of basic assurances that every family should have, every step of the day, regardless of where they are in our country. I'm so deeply saddened, and I'm so sorry to the families that I know are suffering right now. My ask is to everyone, stand by them. Love them. These families have forever been changed, and we've all been changed with them. We need to do everything possible to support them through this time. We have a family resource center that has been set up. I'm grateful for all of the law enforcement agencies from a number of different jurisdictions, and all the different departmental support that we've received. They're going to be working tirelessly. There's also a family resource center that is being set up as we speak to make sure that we're there for everybody. Again, to the families that are suffering, to those that have experienced loss, I'm so deeply sorry. We're going to be with you every step of the way. We love you. This kind of act of evil should never happen, and it happens far too often. The chief will provide additional details.
My name is Brian O'Hara, B-R-I-A-N, O''H-A-R-A. I am the Minneapolis Police Chief. Earlier today, just before 8:30 a.m., our city experienced an unthinkable tragedy. Minneapolis police officers responded to a report of a shooting at a mass that was happening at the Annunciation Roman Catholic Church on the block behind me. This worship service was marking the first week of school for children that are attending the Annunciation Catholic School. During the Mass, a gunman approached on the outside on the side of the building and began firing a rifle through the church windows towards the children sitting in the pews at the Mass. Shooting through the windows, he struck children and worshipers that were inside the building. The shooter was armed with a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol. This was a deliberate act of violence against innocent children and other people worshiping. The sheer cruelty and cowardice of firing into a church full of children is absolutely incomprehensible. Police officers from the Minneapolis Police Department immediately responded, entered the church, and attempted to provide first aid and rescue some of the children that were hiding throughout the building, while other first responders came and EMS responded to rush victims to nearby hospitals. 2 young children, ages 8 and 10, were killed where they sat in the pews. Their parents have been notified. 17 other people were injured, 14 of them being children. 2 of those children are in critical condition. The coward who fired these shots ultimately took his own life in the rear of the church. Our hearts are broken for the families who have lost their children, for these young lives that are now fighting to recover, and for our entire community that has been so deeply traumatized by this senseless attack. We will stand together to protect our children, our schools, and our houses of worship. This deliberate act of violence is just a sign of cruelty that is beyond comprehension. Our hearts are broken for everyone that's been affected by this tragedy. As we begin the difficult path of healing, I want the community to know this, that even in the face of such evil, the Minneapolis Police Department and all of our law enforcement partners stand with our community. We stand with these families and with this parish. We will continue to be here for you. With that, the investigation is obviously in its preliminary stages, and I will attempt to take some questions to provide further information.
Chief, what can you tell us about the suspect in this case? How old was he? Any kind of motivation? Any notes or any other information?
So we were looking, the question was, what can be said about the shooter? We believe it is one suspect, a sole shooter. We believe he is deceased. He is in his early 20s, does not have an extensive known criminal history, and we are looking through information left behind to try and determine some type of motive. Yeah.
How many kids attend the school? How many kids at the school?
How many children? There were, I don't have an exact, the question was how many children at the school. There were dozens of children inside the Mass at the time. I don't have an exact count. The children have been relocated into the school, which is where their families are reunifying with them. Reg.
Was the shooter a student, former student? Was he a former employee?
The question was, do we know if the shooter was a former school employee or a former student. We don't have that information.
Did you leave anything behind other than the weapon?
There's a vehicle. The question was anything left behind? There's a vehicle that we believe that the suspect used that is being searched, and we will be conducting other searches related to this. Inside the parking lot here. Yep.
There was some neighbors who said that the door to the church had been barricaded.
Yep. So the question was, neighbors had said that the door to the church had been barricaded. The shooter approached on one side of the church building, and on that side, at least two doors, it appears there had been like a 2x4 placed. So not all of the doors around the building, but on the side where the shooter did fire.
And on the outside.
On the outside, yes.
Were there any explosives that were found?
The question was there any explosives? There were reports of that. There were no explosives or improvised devices that we found. I do believe there was one, I guess you would call it a smoke bomb, like not an explosive, but a sort of a firework that would release smoke.
And which side of the building? North, south?
The side that is closest to us, here, on this side, yep.
Was the incident related also at these nearby homes?
I don't have specific information on that I can release. The question was, is he dead from a gunshot wound? The answer is yes. We believe he took his own life in the parking lot.
Was this outside or both inside that he was shooting?
The question was he shooting outside and inside? He was absolutely shooting outside of the building on the side of the church, inside through the windows. It appears he may have gone inside, but I don't believe we've located any casings inside the building. So I'm not certain if he fired also while inside. It appears, if not all, most of the shooting happened outside the building.
Chief, is this shooting related to any other shootings that happened in the last
So,
24 hours?
yeah, Taylor's asking, is this related to any of the other shootings? This does not appear to be related to any other shooting in the city.
Do you know approximately how many rounds were fired?
The question was how many rounds? I would say it's in the dozens. We don't have an exact count. There's a sidewalk on the outside as well as a grassy area, so obviously we are going through and taking our time to process the scene.
Was he firing just one weapon, like the rifle?
The question was he firing one weapon? We believe he had fired all three. He had a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol.
Chief, was this individual licensed to conceal and carry? Did he have any?
Were the weapons, was he lawfully carrying the weapons? I don't have that information, and I don't have any information on any significant criminal history either.
Was he dressed
But let's see at the end of this.
tactical type of gear or anything?
It appeared he had some black clothing on, his cargo type pants. I guess you could interpret that as, however you like.
All right,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, thank you for.
So as we're sitting here, information's coming out, and I was trying to find a better source than New York Post or Times of India. That's who we're getting information from right now. You got Times Now, Hindustan Times, and New York Post coming out right now with the identification of the shooter, who's Robin Westman, 23 years old. Let me see, New York Post, and you got Times Now. We can go with New York Post. The school shooter in Minneapolis who killed 2 children, and all these freaking New York Post pop-ups because it's a right-wing app. And killed 2 children and injured at least 17 others has been identified as law enforcement investigates an apparent manifesto possibly linked to the suspect. Robin Westman, who was in his early 20s, opened fire through the stained glass window of the Annunciation Catholic Church during a celebratory back-to-school mass filled with children. Police are investigating whether a sick 20-minute YouTube video shared on an account hours before the shooting was connected to Westman. In the video, a hand slowly turns the pages of a red notebook, which is laid out on top of what appears to be schematic gun diagrams. So that's a screenshot from the shooter on YouTube, and they had that posted, a screenshot of it. On the magazines, you got "Where is your God?" and you got Russian written on the bottom. Is that Russian? That's weird. He says, "Where is your God?" with Russian, looks like, written on the bottom of the magazine there. You got "Suck on This" fuck everything that you stand for. You can't read that one. I think it's just the F word. The big one. This is the bigger magazine. You can fit more bullets in it, obviously. And then it says fart N-word. Okay. A higher capacity magazine right there. The big one, TM. The video also showed diary entries written in both... Oh, what the fuck? I thought I saw Russian on that. Why are they writing in Russian? Both English and Russian. They got a screen grab of a diary entry here. Looks like he's got a diagram of the... Yeah, I know it was Russian and it says bitch in Russian on the magazine. Got the diagram of the church. You know, bullets seen in it. I know what it says in Russian. I'm just saying it's Russian. So you got 3 images being shown right now. Bullets were also shown. Yeah, this is the worst. Trying to get news from a... Each page is filled with inscrutable handwritten scrawl. An occasional plume of smoke is seen from the bottom of the screen as the person turns the pages and coughs occasionally and manically giggles. Because obviously we didn't see the videos. It's downtown right by the church. Westman, who died at the scene of a self-inflicted gunshot wound, was armed with a rifle, a shotgun, and a handgun. Videos posted to YouTube show multiple weapons, including semi-automatic rifle and a shotgun. Magazines were scrawled with "For the Children" and "Kill Donald Trump," apparently. According to the New York Post. So you got New York Post, which that's a right-wing rag source, so that's tough. I don't have any other source. You have Times of India. Carol Evan, local news. Multiple sources confirm identity of the shooter. I think they're going to confirm it. This is our local news here in Minnesota. Carol Evan, it's a NBC affiliate. Everybody check into the stream, put a comment where you're watching from. I'm not seeing anything about the shooter being trans. Is that why? Is it need to be? Do they need to be trans? I've not seen one single thing. I'm looking for sourcing on the identity of the shooter. And we have Hindustan Times, New York Post, the Times of India. This is the first source I would say isn't suspect. Would be our own local news here in Minnesota.
Multiple law enforcement sources have confirmed to KARE 11 that the shooter is a 23-year-old named Robin Westman. Robin formerly went by Robert, that's what we're being told, grew up in Richfield, and we've also learned that his mother had some connection to the school or church and worked there. That may be the connection between the shooter and that location. That's what law enforcement sources are telling us. Again, we have confirmed that the shooter in this case is named Robin Westman, and it was a 23-year-old.
Okay, so 23-year-old Robin Westman. So our own local news confirmed it. That's all we have really right now. You got Hindustan Times, KARE 11, Times Now, and Times of India, and the New York Post. Shaky. Besides our own local news. Gotta wait for more information as that comes out. That's the identity right there. That's the shooter's photo. "23-year-old Robin Westman." That is the identification. Okay, as we just had our local news confirm it. Why are people worried about? Because that's what they care about. People are weird. Tim Walls posted 37 minutes ago, Minnesota's heartbroken from the officers responding to the clergy and teachers providing comfort to the hospital staff saving lives. We will get through this together. Hug your kids close. Hug your kids close. KTSP also released the name. Yep, so we're getting it verified. The video is very disturbing. This back up here.
Stand by within 11 official and 110 that way.
Somebody's gonna come out. Hello. Yes, sir.
So, I mean, I gotta... Okay, so I retweeted this. I don't know. I don't know what I can all play on the internet here. We're in like new waters of, because I got an 11-minute video. I got pictures. I got a 20-minute video. But this is all stuff that was just deleted off of YouTube. YouTube took it all down. Got like a 16-minute video I'm looking at here of him reading a dryer manual.
Clothes dryer installation must be performed by a qualified installer.
You could probably watch some of those. I don't think we could. Well, I don't know if we can watch the one of them reading his manifesto. We're in like gray area here on what I can show. I don't know. Yeah, I guess I can scroll it and show you that it exists. So you got to go on X. X is just X is like 4chan now. So anything, you can post anything on X or Twitter. So I shared it. I did retweet all this. So you got an 11-minute video posted by the psychotic school shooter today in Minneapolis. It was posted 2 hours ago on a YouTube channel named Robin W. And it shows a manifesto and an arsenal of guns with writing on them while laughing manically. One of the magazines has "Kill Donald Trump" written on it. Okay, I'm not gonna. We can play without audio, maybe. Got the fucking bullets. Hitting a vape. There's gray area stuff. So I mean, hey, this should fall under protections of fair use with news coverage. Support the channel, I guess, guys. If this shit, I hope I'm okay. I really don't know. I mean, this is all news and information. It's getting posted all over social media. So there's his magazines, there's his weapons. His shotgun's got writings all over it like a psycho would. I'm gonna play without sound. So I don't wanna. This is fucking weird. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna just show you. Clearly written in Russian in some of these magazines. Suck on this. Where's your? So we saw that's from some of the screenshots. There's the high capacity magazine. Is it a Glock? Multiple firearms. He's holding it up to the camera. I love you. Fuck you. Eat shit. Slur word. Community guidelines. Slur word. Can't repeat. I love you. Where is your God with bitch written in Russia? Get clapped. Psycho skibbity. Psycho killer. Clearly absolute psychotic person. Fuck everything you stand for. Scum gang. That what isn't that one rappers thing? Wow. So they're racist, again, racist too. Like I can't say that word obviously out loud. This looks like an average person that's indoctrinated by the Russians. The big one, big high capacity magazine. Fart N-word, a lot of racism, derogatory terms for Hispanics, N-word here, right there on screen. Big have fun written on there. So you got you got the derogatory terms written on these magazines for everyone. Kill Donald Trump on the magazine, rip and tear. So he's already there. Hatred towards, well, you got you got all types of bigotry written all over it. And hatred to Trump, hatred to black people, Mexicans, killer sadist, sponsored by BlackRock. Nice. That'll cook with the conspiracy people. More Russian. What does that say in Russian right there? What's up with that? The interesting thing to me, I mean, the one that's like really throwing me for a loop is all the Russian. All the Russian written on the weapons and on the firearms and the manifesto here. Fear. That's what's written on one of his pieces of clothing there. There is no message. Okay. Where to pull smoke. So it looks like he had a smoke. I really hope all these videos are all going viral, so I'm sure the Minneapolis police have their hands all over this already, but I reshared it and it's all over social media. Yeah, we got all the Russian written all over it. Nuke India. All right, chat. I need you to do one thing for me. Stop trying to find this person's political leanings. There is none. Stop it immediately. Okay. This person is a wild card. Clearly, every single magazine had some hatred written for some class of person. They're writing in Russian. So there's no like, oh, is this person a Democrat? Is this person Republican? Shut the fuck up. Or go outside and put my stream down and go slap yourself outside. And then come back in and watch again so you can make sure you get updated. But stop it. This is something else. Something else entirely here. No remorse. Israel must fall. No, hatred to Israel too in there. Like a phoenix, we rise from the ashes, just writing whatever the fuck you want over the shit, dude. Take this, all of you. Baruch Kazad, who I'm gonna look. I don't know what does that mean? It's a musical band. Ah, no, that's a different one. It's not spelled the same. Battle Cry of the Dwarves. Is that something from The Hobbit? This appears to be something from The Hobbit. Okay, this is like something with dwarves. I'm not kidding. I don't know. A Hobbit thing from Lord of the Rings. It says this is also a musical band, but I don't think it's connected to that at all. I think the musical band is named after the Tolkien Gateway. Baruch Kazad. Oh God. We're in Lord of the Rings lore. Okay, I'm okay. So Lord of the Rings stuff. More Russian. Kiss me. Hatred. Or hatred on the weapon. Fuck optics. What the fuck, dude? This person was 4K psychotic. Nothing ever happens. Is writing every single one. Humanity is overrated. This was a doom scroll mass shooter. While you're here, kill pedos. So he wrote fuck optics on one weapon and then has an optic on this one. Follow me. Group now. I'm not playing any of this with sound because we're in gray territory right now. We're literally in gray territory I'm trying to make sure we're on community guidelines because this isn't to promote any of this. I'm not encouraging any of this. This is so we can get the information. That's all this is. And this is disgusting. And I retweeted it if you want to watch all these with the sound and watch it with your McVeigh. He wrote Timothy McVeigh on the weapon. Fuck optics. Bull pilled. Kill the president now, it says on there. Kill Trump now. Remove kebab. The fuck does that mean? Yeah, good luck trying to explain this guy's beliefs. I think I'm going to show you guys the book that he has. It's like a massive book, Manifesto. Fear written on the clothing. Born to shit, forced to wipe. 6 million. Jesus. I'm not gonna even finish saying that. So he's not Nazi. Was this guy political? Is a trans shooter? So you gotta dealing with any type of news, and then you look at it, and then it's like, oh, maybe I should shut the fuck up. Maybe you should. Kill, die. What's with this symbol? Like, this symbol's been on most of his stuff I've seen, but it looks familiar. This one. Enhance. I've seen I can't remember where I've seen this. But it looks familiar. Got a knife, obviously. He's got everything. Was that a shirt with the old flag on it? Minnesota state flag? Is that the Minnesota old flag, or what is that? That's what that looks like. Maybe not. Never mind. No, it's like brown. What is that? From appears to look like the old Minnesota seal or flag or state flag. Okay. I don't know. I don't know the significance of that shirt or what that says. The Russian shit, dude. What is that about? Let's do this before the anxiety kicks in. Holy. This is like an 11-minute long video of him going through every firearm with the writings on them, going through his clothes. I'm not playing it with sound to stay on the fine line we're on right now. What is the fuck is that? No escape. That's got to be the 2x4 thing that they mentioned in the press conference that he used. That's the this is like 420 blaze it, weed bad. So he's a hater, marijuana hater. Hates everything. Right, N-word written on the back, N-word written on the other side. So there it is. There's, I mean, yeah, if you want to, you got to go to my Twitter. I just shared this if you want to watch the whole thing with the sound on. I'm just trying to make sure I'm careful with the community guidelines because this is obviously a manifesto of the shooter. And, yeah, I don't really know how to go about giving the information other than showing you. Okay. Points it at the camera. Here's the beginning where he's going through some of his manifesto so you guys can see that. How many words it is. To my family and friends, I don't expect forgiveness and I don't expect any apology. I have to hold much weight. But to my family and those close to me, I do apologize for the effects my actions will have on your lives. Please know I care for you so much, and it pains me to bring this form of chaos into your lives. This will affect so many more people than ones that are immediately involved, obviously, because you killed kids. To my mother and father, I'm sorry I didn't turn out as you had hoped. You did not fail me. You gave so much, so much. I don't know if there's a glare there. I truly appreciate the love you have given me. I feel I was raised to be a good person. I've kept those traits of empathy, self-sacrifice, and great character. Please do not think you have failed as parents. I was corrupted by this world and haven't learned to hate what life is love, life is pain. There is too much to accept, too many things to put up with just to live. I'm tired of the pain this world gives out. Please move on and continue to give your love to my brothers and sisters and the rest of the world. They may not forgive you, but you need to move on from me. Forget my life and the pain I've brought. I love you both. Thank you for everything. I'm sorry. To my siblings, I'm sorry for ever tainting the rest of your lives, your careers, lives, Relationships all will be turned upside down. Please hold on to who you are, not who I am. Change your names if you must. I wish I could tell you that before I go. Please know that. This is laminated. Oh boy. I love you and I truly appreciate the time I have spent with you. I have such an amazing family and it hurts me to throw this wrench into the works of you good people. He's completely like mentally separated from reality with the family. You good people. It's about his family. I feel hope when with you. I cherish our time together. I appreciate all that you have taught me, and I feel inspired to be like you when I grow up. I hope you are able to move on and continue your lives without being forever followed, forever haunted by my actions. Forget me and all that I am. Hold on to yourselves and your loved ones. I love you all. And to my friends, I trust you all to give your memory of me however you see fit. I am sorry for the confusion and heartbreak this will bring. I truly appreciate all of you for showing me a good life and helping me through the dark times. I have so many good times that gave me hope. Unfortunately, this world has too much pain. To deal out of that, I can't cover up with the good sides of life. I hope you can move on and forget the pain I've caused. I've wanted this for so long. I am not well. I'm not right. I am a sad person haunted by these things that do not go away. I knew this is wrong, but I can't seem to stop myself. I am severely depressed and have been suicidal for years. Only recently have I lost all hope and decided to perform my final action against this world. Yeah, more like against children, you fucking pussy. Yeah, you take all my anger out on the world and then take it out on kids. No, you deserved everything that happened to you that went bad in this world. People that have dog shit life and then take it out on children deserved every bad thing that ever happened to them. I don't give a fuck. Only recently have I lost all hope anyways. I don't want to kneel down for the injustices of this world. I want to die. I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees, constantly in pain. No, so much pain. I'm gonna go kill children. I think I'm dying of cancer. Wow. It's a tragic end, as it's entirely self-inflicted. I did this to myself as I cannot control myself and have been destroying my body through vaping and other means. Wow, this is psychotic. Yeah, I'm giving myself cancer by my own actions and my life sucks, so therefore I need to go kill children. Wow, there's got to be ways to identify people like this, like, man. And like parents and people like this person it's not just one day like this. This is like a long time coming. There's a long time of like this person didn't just start writing this shit and start acting like this out of nowhere. With writing like this and how is he fluent in Russian? Is his family Russian? Or maybe he's isn't fluent, but he just knows what to write. He knows just how to write it. What is all going on there? Why this had to have been identifiable that there's problems with this person. I think I have lung cancer because of the vaping. I felt many pains that make me think I am past the point of recovery. I do not want to recover. I do not want to throw my life away by rotting in a hospital bed. I don't want the rest of my life to be as a cancer patient in and out of hospitals, constantly being fretted about with people afraid to be too happy around me. Fuck that. I want to go out on my own means. Unfortunately, due to my depression, anger, and twisted mind, I want to fulfill a final act that has been in the back of my head for years. You all are what kept me going. I find no more interest in anything material. I have only an interest on my mission and live for my family. If I didn't have such an amazing group of people around me, I would have been gone much sooner. I just want to escape from this world, escape from the constant bills. I think that says constant bills, shitty jobs, shitty people, and injustice of America. I am done with this. I will not bow. I will be selfish and leave you to pick up the pieces. It's my fault. Blame me, but please move on. Wow, dude. Just emotion, like the amount of emotional gaslighting and just shit he had to have been to his parents had to have been like, you had to identify there's problems here. Whether you accept my apologies or not, I hope you can all move past this and continue your lives. Remember to be good people. Now more than ever, the world needs to move more love, even if you don't get it in return. Please find hope, find love, and stand up to injustice. And I'm going to kill kids now. What a loser. What a loser. Truly. I love you all. I will remember you. Pray for the victims and their families. Jesus Christ. I love you. Heart. Dad, Mom, Jack, Matthew, Teresa, Joe, Jared, Phil, Liam. Robert M. Westman. 2002 to 2025 with a signature. It's just a psycho. P.S. I get over yourself and make up with Mom. Oh, T. Get over yourself and make up with Mom. She loves you. You need to grow up and accept that time just keeps on fucking moving. You either will stay in the past and rot, wasting your life and happiness away, or you can grow up and move on from things. We all love you. P.P.S. I wouldn't recommend my of you to read my journals unless you really want to, but we be warned. Well, they're going to be reading them. Wow. Laminated and everything. And then drops the bullet casings on it. Or there was the goodbye letter to his family before he carried out the shooting. What do you have going on here? There's the board that the police mentioned. Got a target with Jesus as on the head. He came to pay a debt he didn't owe because we owe a debt we cannot pay. So, okay. Hates Jesus, hates Trump, hates black people, Mexicans, Jewish people. Because he wrote all that in his little goodbye letter to see how, like, even in his letter he's gaslighting. Like, there's multiple layers of gaslighting going on, because then you look at his messages on his weapons and it's like complete evil. Whereas in his letter, he's like trying to gaslight and shit and act like to try to like get a moral high ground one last time, I think. But you look at his magazines and shit, it's just full of hatred. Like, for everyone and everything. And lots of Russian written, which I'm not understanding that yet. So more information. Here's a screenshot of the YouTube channel that was up. I don't think it's up anymore. Robin 1312. That's got to be gone now. It can't be the same one. No, that's a different. Can't be the same one. Oh, Robin W 1312. Robin 3000. YouTube channel's got to be gone by now. Yeah, that thing's gone. So you're never going to find this again unless you look at the Twitter receipts here. Posted a 20-minute video of him flipping through the Manifesto. That's what it looked like before the channel was taken down. 20-minute video of him flipping through the Manifesto while whispering, "I know you exactly what I'm doing." With the My Little Pony sticker. What's up with the Russian, dude? It's all written in Russian. Luigi's on the thing. That's not Mario, that's Luigi. This is all in Russian. So knows how to fluently write in Russian. What's his name? Yeah, I got it. Robert Westman. It's been released. Not by, I don't think it's been officially released by the city yet. Yeah, we're already ahead of everyone else now. Well, not actually. New York Post and Times of India were ahead, but now we're kind of ahead of the curve of the city releasing the name right now. But we got local news, KARE 11 confirmed, and KSTP now. You know, this is like literally a 20-minute video of this, and I can't translate any of that. We would have to have someone that can translate Russian. The whole thing is. Where's the hash? With the Ruger Mark IV assembly. If someone wants to spend time to chat GPT each page, gotta defend equality sticker on there. Whisper, that's creepy as fuck. Just whispering psychotic shit. It's all dated. You'd have to, yeah, you could easily, I guess you could screenshot it and upload it to ChatGPT. But that, I mean, if you have time to do that. It's got drawings. What does that say? Looks like an image of a devil in the mirror. And he's obviously got a rifle on his back and the pistol on his side. Seeing the devil in the mirror. No, his ideology is hatred. And he stabs the church. What is this? Bands and artists I like enough to write down. Breaking Benjamin, Linkin Park, Deadmau5, damn, Pendulum, KMFDM, Gone Blue, I don't know what that says. Imogen, Heap, Metric, Chelsea Grin, Rocket, Lil Drug Hill, Lil Uzi Vert. What an array of music here. Ice Peak, Mesquite, Flatbush Zombies, Chief Keef. His music interest is all over the place too. Probably just like all the, actually, you know what? Nah, probably the aggressive. It's all, or probably listening to the songs about killing people and shit, because Chief Keef has a lot of those. Same with all the other bands on there. You have certain songs, not like that's what they're committed to, but they all have songs that can get pretty aggressive. Obviously, there's the screenshots. I mean, yeah, pretty normal bands. There's nothing like wrong with it at all. And we don't need to watch him point a gun at the manifesto, but he posted a short on YouTube going through the manifesto again and then pointing a firearm at it. What the hell? Drawing dicks in his Russian book. Okay, we don't. He's gonna grab points it at his book. Is that like his hatred paragraph where he like can like flip it off and be mad? The end. I'm so sorry. Love, Robin. Who taught him to write in Is his family Russian? That's just not something you like unless he took Russian in school. Okay. You got gun oil at the end too. A video the psycho posted 4 years ago of him reading a dryer manual. This was 4 years ago.
Today I'm going to be reading the Amana electric dryer user manual. Dryer safety. Your safety and the safety of others are very important. We have provided many important safety messages in this manual and on your appliance. Always read and obey all safety messages. This is the safety alert symbol. This symbol alerts you to potential hazards that can kill or hurt you and others. All safety messages will follow the safety alert symbol and either the word danger or warning. The word danger means you can be killed or seriously injured if you don't immediately follow instructions.
Again, this is a dryer manual. And it's gone off YouTube now. So that's why I'm trying to be super careful. Because I don't want YouTube to take my shit down. And I'm not trying to repost it or regurgitate. I'm trying to just give details to people that are looking for it. YouTube, at YouTube. It's the only thing I'm concerned about because YouTube is my main source, dude. I can't afford YouTube to go down.
Do not use fabric softeners or products to eliminate static unless recommended by the manufacturer.
Okay, it's literally just a dryer manual video.
A nylon brush every 6 months or more frequently if it becomes clogged due to a residue buildup. To wash, roll lint off the screen with your fingers, wet both sides of the lint screen with hot water, and wet a nylon brush with hot water and liquid detergent.
So, there you go. I know a lot of my American audience are, like I said earlier, they're going to be like, you guy a Democrat, you're a Republican. What's his political party? That's all. I got to figure that out first before I know how to think. I can't think until I know. Yeah, have fun with this one. Have fun trying to figure that out because it's all over the place. There's hatred for everyone. Hatred for Jews, hatred for black people, hatred for Mexicans, Trump, gay people. I don't know what the Russian... I'm curious as to what is written in Russian because there could just be nothing but hatred. I mean, you got bitch written on one of the magazines in Russian. Hatred for Christians, obviously. Got Jesus on a target there. Hatred for kids because obviously there was no problem having all these mental problems and taking it out on children. My God. The big one. I know, but I can Google Lens it. I suppose we could try. Shit's giving me anxiety, dude, because I'm not trying to get my shit taken down for just trying to report what this is. It's all in blurry. It's all blurry. I'm going to Google Lens this and try to give you guys what it says if possible. Of course, they don't have Russian downloaded on my Google Lens. Oof, it's not picking it up. Oh. No wonder I had it backwards. What the fuck? This, okay. None of this makes sense. Okay, we're going to need someone better than Google Lens to translate this. So the top says manifestation of thoughts in Russian. I have had trouble with Mirar. This is all gibberish. This can't. Nah, this. I think it's just reading it. I think it's just not picking it up. Let me pick it. Let me do like automatic and see if it picks it up. Yeah. Let me see if I can Yeah, that's in Russian. But it's not. It's gibberish. It looks like. Like I'm talking like not like these words aren't even real words, or like they're not. I don't know how to translate this. I am a clown about these events for ordering 5 at the trim. Morbidly obsessed. 33 of them have been watching this video. I can tell you all the jokes I can. Who the fuck writes a manifesto in Russian? A person that lives in Minnesota. I have had this before at my pad, but I am a port of time. I am sure the conflict with this open work. I am not a fan of my Thor. Out of my mind. This is a joke. Haha. This magazine is sweat. Global organized. Tell you, it's bad. It's tough. It's scramblings of a. But I don't know if I can say that this is legit translations here. I am a clown about these events for ordering 5 at the trim. Morbidly obese. 33 of them have been watching this video. This is like some schizophrenic shit. But I don't know. Is this schizophrenic Russian ramblings? I wouldn't be able to tell. And I don't understand the language structure either of Russian, and the direct translation is A, they're not making sense, or B, this is what he's writing, and it's just literally a bunch of schizophrenic ramblings. That symbol is 44, apparently designated for the high caliber, and that's just one page. I guess I can try a different page. It's also really blurry, too. That could be a problem. This is clearer. Not really. It's probably not picking up the scribblies of the Russian. See how it's all pixelated, so it's probably not translating it properly. Try this page. None of this makes sense. What? I want to buy a dog park next to a school. I don't want to know where I was in the park, but I know where I was going. I don't want to know where I was in the park, but I know where I was going. Yeah, it's going to be schizophrenic, creepy ramblings. The bottom part, he repeats the same thing. So it's able to translate the bottom part. It's going to be creepy, schizophrenic ramblings in Russian. Mr. Dex says he can translate. I mean, a lot of people are going to say they can translate it. This is a 20-minute long video. Probably need to upload it into ChatGPT, but it's hard to register what the words are because it's pretty pixelated. Anything else come out? I was sent a tip that the shooter's mom used to work at the church. Oh, his mom worked there? Well, there's a direct connection, if true. Church of is this on Facebook? I'm gonna find out more about the shooter than all the news combined. Church of the Annunciation. Mary Grace Westman. I'm trying to look for that Facebook page of that posting. Also, by the way, who is this person? Is this person identified as a trans individual, or is that just right-wing bullshit media making that up? Twin Cities Crime and Information posted them as a trans individual. Chat, here to remind you, every single crime page is a right-wing grift. Okay? Every single one. I see so many people that share like I don't know, Black Lives Matter stuff, and then they'll retweet Twin Cities Crime page. They're MAGA. They're MAGA. The lady that runs it, MAGA. Shelly. It makes me cringe every time, especially in Minnesota. Can't find anything on Church of the Annunciation with the mom. I don't know if they took the post down or what. It would pop up. Oh, here's one from 2016. New staff members, Jim Weiland and Mary Grace Westman. Jim Weiland has joined the Annunciation Parish staff as business administrator. Mary Grace Westman, that's his mom, is the new administrative assistant in the business office. She is a member of St. Agnes Church. In St. Paul, she was a secretary at her school for 7 years. She has 6 children and 1 baby granddaughter. Originally from Kentucky, she has a great love of horses and basketball. There's the retirement post. Mary Grace Westman. On Sunday, we honored Mary Grace Westman, who is retiring from Annunciation. She has provided such wonderful hospitality, friendship, and compassion to all who gathered for the last 5 years at Annunciation. You will be missed. Congratulations on your retirement. Hindustan Times is a dog shit source. I'm telling you that right now. It's iffy at best. Do not use the Hindustan Times as your main source. Might as well go to RT or some other Eastern media source. We should get. Do we have the? I don't know if Mod Nikki is. I should be posting this out. I'm gone until later tonight. Oh, great. I don't know if we've posted the identity. Yeah, we could do that. Get the identity out. It's already getting posted everywhere. Gone over it on stream, but I just haven't made a social media post yet. Everyone's posting it now. I call for Tim Walz to shut the fuck up. I'm gonna call for Tim Walz to resign.
This message brought to you by BlackRock and ExxonMobil. Sponsored by Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Sponsored by Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Brandon Herrera for president.
Brandon Herrera for president. There you go, MAGA. You want to play political games? How about we stop doing that? I'm seeing y'all dumbasses in the chat. Are you gonna claim that? If we're gonna play the game you're playing, are we claiming that he's a Brandon Herrera supporter? And can we run with that? Can we run with that, or should we shut up? Huh? I'm seeing your comments.
Brandon Herrera for president.
Are we gonna play that? I bet Brandon Herrera won't play it. Brandon Herrera ironically plays political games. I bet she's gonna want to shut that one up, huh? Because it ain't fun when it's on the other side of the foot. Ain't fun.
Yeah, I met Brandon Herrera at SHOT Show last year.
Oh damn. Oh, he's a Brandon Herrera fan.
He and I had.
Who the hell is Brandon Herrera? MAGA politician, runner guy, YouTuber. This guy, the AK guy. There he is. Do you want MAGA? You really want to play the game? But he's trans. But no trans person, leftist. I want Brandon Herrera to be president. I met Brandon Herrera last year. No! The narrative about being trans is the one I want. No, the trans narrative is better. Do that one instead. Say that. No, he's being hyperbolic when he mentioned Brandon Herrera. He's serious about everything else, though. I didn't hear that. I guess we should have played the videos with sound.
This message brought to you by BlackRock and ExxonMobil. Sponsored by Pabst Blue Ribbon.
He sold him guns. Listen, I know. That's why you should stop playing these stupid games about trying to find the politics in it. Because clearly this person is out of their entire depth and hates everybody and everything. Loves Brandon Herrera, apparently, though. And if you're a MAGA, you know what Brandon Herrera is about. So you really want to play that, or you should stop doing it. That's your choices. Because if you're going to play the game, then you hear him mention Brandon Herrera in this video. I mean, you're gonna have a problem. You're gonna have to try to defend it, or you could just shut the fuck up.
Herrera.
It's one of the choices you can make.
President.
Shut the fuck up, or play political partisan games when it comes to like.
I met Brandon Herrera at SHOT Show last year. He and I had a brief conversation.
Mercado picks his narrative as well. I literally have not drafted a single narrative for this. I've literally shown everything that's available. You idiot. I've actually tried to be careful not to show too much because I have a lot to show apparently. What are you talking about?
But like we agreed on a lot of things.
What's my narrative on this, by the way? Huh? What is my narrative? Anyone know? Mercado trying to find every reason to reject reality. What am I rejecting? I'm playing it all on stream. I'm on a thin line of community guidelines here, showing a mass shooter's manifesto and his actions up to it. What else do you want? I defend him being trans. Are you out of your fucking mind? That isn't even the point. If he's trans or not, that doesn't matter. It literally does not matter whatsoever. It has no factor in his actions. Why is that even a focus point?
So, y'all should vote for Brandon Herrera for president. And, Vintage Warfare promotes love and peace and accepting differences. Tomorrow, I'm sorry to my family. But that's it. That's the only people I'm sorry to. Fuck those kids.
There's some Patriot takes. Oh, there you go. I wonder what Brandon Herrera is going to say to this. Republican candidate Brandon Herrera runs a gun YouTuber page. In the clip, first tweet above, alleged shooter Robin Westman also mentions Vintage Warfare, which appears to be another gun YouTuber page. Nice. Really, Republican House candidate Brandon Herrera condemned his fan. Alleged school shooter Brian. Yeah, where is it? I will not, nor will I ever say the name of the gutless coward who decided to take the lives of innocent people in Minneapolis today. My heart goes out to the family of those affected, but to the shooter, I have one thing to say in response: fuck you, burn in hell. It's unfortunate you brought up your name. Why is it unfortunate? People that like Brandon Herrera in his politics and play those games every single day of their lives, they will use a loose thread. They will bend over backwards to find narratives to fit their bias. But the guy who just shot kids up and said vote for Brandon Herrera for president, whoa, buddy, hey, whoa, let's think about this for a second. Let's not jump the gun. Hey, whoa, hey, he ain't a Brandon Herrera supporter. He doesn't support Brandon Herrera. He just bought his guns and just said that. But yet you'll like people that like Brandon Herrera and Brandon Herrera's politics will full send on like the loosest thread of narrative on the of the shoe on the other foot. Or anything. Correct message from Brandon Herrera though, overall. Don't give the shooter what he wanted, I guess, or whatever that was. Or, you know, make it known that, hey, like that dude's that person's off their rocker and I'm not connected to that at all, but it's interesting out here. AKA guy blocked Patriot takes. Thank you, Richard. Appreciate that. I know that I'm covering it. It's much easier to just take the news as it is and not try to figure out the political in it. Much easier, but look at extra thick. It says Jew gas on there. I learned that quick though back in 2020 when the right wing was trying to find the political in it, and was only interested in that, not the actual like news or like the facts. When it came to like the system of right wing media, they were trying to like when they would interview me, they were trying to. I could tell right away they wanted me to. They were looking for me to say certain things, and not the facts of like what was happening. Because as soon as I was like relaying the facts, they got bored, or like they weren't interested in that. They wanted me to say some other shit. So it's far easier just to take the news as it is and not try to fit it into your framing of your own bias. Look at that. So you got, like I mentioned, hatred for brown people, black people, Mexicans, Jews, Christians, Trump, gay people, because he has a slur, derogatory slur at gay people on one of the magazines. Nice try. He posted his or her recently posted photos, though. That's why you shouldn't even play it. That's why you shouldn't even play it. You know what? This person looks like they're you know what? This person's a psycho. But it looks like they're in the internet enough with what they had posted on their weapons, on his weapons and everything, to know that, hey, after I do this and take myself out, we're going to have these psychos going through all of my shit, and I'm going to make it as hard as hell for them to do that. Because it looks like they understood the political culture war based on what was being written on the weapons and the symbolism there. Yeah, we learned a lot more about the shooter than I thought we would have here in a deep dive. Check into the stream this afternoon, you guys, if you could. Right now, we're covering the main events of the mass shooting was this morning, but we got more information on the shooter now, and we've been kind of deep diving on that and any information that is coming in about it to give more context and understanding. Because, I mean, when you have any type of mass shooting, people are wondering like what motivated the person to do it. This involving children at a Catholic school. See if we got any further updates here. We got 8 new updates on CNN. Thank you, Omansky, for member for 5 months. I appreciate the support there. Governor's heartbroken. Here's what officials will be focused on next: the motivation. His identity still hasn't been confirmed by the law enforcement officials yet. Apparently knew that the school children would be at church. Yeah, look, based upon his videos he was posting, he has premeditated. Obviously, his mom worked there, so he knew the schedule. His mom worked at the church, so he knew when kids would be in the mass and what would be going on. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives will work to determine who purchased the guns used by the shooter and where the purchases were made. Miller said that law enforcement agencies will seek search warrants for the suspect's electronic devices and social media accounts, looking for writings or any information that would point to a motive. This event is in every way probably as terrible as the shooter planned it to be, maybe even worse. The Annunciation Catholic School is the foundation of the tight-knit neighborhood that surrounds it. One person lives there, says, as the community reels from a deadly shooting at the school today. Andrea Kester, who has lived in the area since 2003, said she lives about a block and a half from the school and knows dozens of people who have sent their children there. So many people are connected to there and have positive history with that school, and it's just an amazing community of people, she told CNN. Kester said the shooting, which killed at least 2 children, is devastating to the community. We got a 2:30 news conference again. Thank you, Sarah. So there's another press conference coming up, probably with the identity from the law enforcement confirming it, even though we have the news confirming it, but we have to wait for the official statement from the law enforcement just verifying it. Postings from Tim Walls. Just to remind you, Minnesota's heartbroken, from the officers responding to the clergy and teachers providing comfort to the hospital staff saving lives. We will get through this together. Hug your kids close. I've been briefed on a shooting at the Annunciation Catholic School. We'll be able to provide updates as we get more information. The BCA and State Patrol are on scene. I'm praying for our kids and teachers whose first week of school was marred by this horrific act of violence. That's from Governor Tim Walz. I got a press conference coming up again, apparently.
Beside me, I was like 2 seats away from the stained glass windows. So they were like, the shots were like right next to me.
That's scary.
Yeah.
You went under the pew after that happened?
Yeah. And
Is that what everyone tried to do?
I think I got like gunpowder on my neck.
Goodness.
Just the question everyone wants to know, why? You can't imagine what those parents must be. A little more than an hour or so ago, he's a 5th grader here. His grandpa said it was okay if we could talk to him, and he shared more about what took place. Take a listen to what Wesson had to say.
We went to the gym, and then the doors locked just to make sure he didn't come. And we waited in the gym for more news, and everyone was okay. For most people.
Who are you?
My friend got hit in the back.
Did he go to the hospital?
Yeah, he went to the hospital.
What went through your mind when you saw that?
I was super scared for him, but I think now he's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get reunited with your parents?
Yeah, my mom was waiting outside of the church when it happened.
Yeah. What was it like seeing her?
I was super happy because, like, I was scared that I wasn't going to see her because I didn't know what was happening, really. I was just in shock.
Was it behind you where it was happening, or in front of you? Just kind of.
It was, like, right beside me. I was, like, 2 seats away from the stained glass windows. So they were, like, the shots were, like, right next to me.
That's scary.
Yeah.
You went under the pew after that happened?
Yeah. And
Is that what everyone tried to do?
I think I got, like, gunpowder on my neck.
Just the question everyone wants to know, why? You can't imagine what those parents must be thinking about as they drove their kids home, buckling them into the car, and just waiting to hear what their child says to them. And you know that question's coming. Why? The community's got that question as well. We're hoping to get an update from Minneapolis police in about 45 minutes. A news conference. We'll have that for you. We'll hear more about the police investigation. Again, police saying that the suspect fired from outside of the school through a window into the church where those children were. Again, that update coming about 2:30 from Minneapolis police. We'll have it live right here on 5 Eyewitness News. But it's the latest here at the scene at 54th and Lindell. I'm Eric Schlup, 5 Eyewitness News. Back to you guys in the studio.
Okay, Eric, thank you. I know you've been there all morning and into the afternoon. And of course, he is in the Kinney neighborhood at 54th and Lindale. If you've been coming up there,
I got the local news up right now for a second, guys, until I'm trying to get some of these posts up.
Towards Uptown.
I got the post on Facebook. I got to get it on YouTube.
He's in there, and that's sort of this neighborhood, and the school is just right there where Eric is standing over. That was just over his shoulder, and you can see Annunciation, the school, and the church. They're right there together, so it just makes sense that the kids are going to be there for Mass.
The kids go to the Mass as the school day gets started at Annunciation Catholic School. The city of Minneapolis put out a statement shortly after this happened. They wanted to let people know about what happened. The deaths of 2 children shot at Annunciation, 17 others injured. The suspected shooter dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound outside in the parking lot. The shooter, by the way, it doesn't sound like got inside of the church. The shooter actually fired through the windows. And you just heard that little boy, a child, talking about stained glass windows inside the church. And that's where the gunshots were coming in. Just unbelievable. Representative Ilhan Omar represents this part of the city of Minneapolis. And she just released a statement. And I think we have some sound with her if we can play her statement now.
It's been incredible to hear from leaders of Congress. Even the White House reached out to see what our community needs. And that's the kind of moment that we are in. It's a moment of grief. It's a moment of solidarity. It's a moment of prayer. But we know that once this investigation is done, once these families are made whole, then we can have the national conversation that is necessary to stop school shootings like this from taking place in our communities and devastating families all over this country. Thank you.
Okay, Representative Ilhan Omar speaking. You can see the crime scene tape there. It looks like she was right there in the area, seeing for herself what has happened there today. And it is just one of those things.
Okay, I just reposted it on Facebook, YouTube, X, about the identification of the shooter, at least what we know thus far. I can hear. I'll pull up what I posted really quick. Shout out to the mods. We got Mod Nikki that helps with some of the social media posts, but Mod Nikki is busy today. It's a Wednesday, daytime, family stuff going on. Shout out to all the mods that take time out of their day to help with the channel, because it's just me and the mods. I don't have a team or anything. We had mod team, but no, like we don't have anybody like hired for social media postings, etc. So we all do it when we can. You know, we're just trying to provide information. So shout out to everybody that helps, mods, everybody. So I just got this posted really quick. Shooter identified in Minneapolis Catholic School tragedy. Authorities have identified the gunman in Wednesday's mass shooting at Annunciation Catholic School as 23-year-old Robin Westman. He opened fire through the church windows during morning mass, killing 2 children, injuring 17 others before taking his own life. Investigators say Westman left behind disturbing writings and online posts, which I've reposted. I don't know. I'm not going to upload them myself because I already have enough problems with community guidelines and losing my platforms and getting taken down for just sharing news. So I'm not going to do that, but I've reposted it on my X, and I think that's probably the only place you can get to it, because if I tried uploading that on Facebook, I'd put in jail, Facebook jail. And that's the photos I posted. It's kind of like a compilation. So you can find that on my X or Facebook or the YouTube. You can also, any posts I make to Facebook, if you don't have Facebook anymore, guys, which I understand, or any other social media. Discord is an option, but I posted in the community tab on my YouTube channel as well, which you guys can check that out. You can find that right here now. It'll be, actually my posts are on the homepage. You can find the posts here, and you can click here and find them. There it is. But on the YouTube home channel, you guys should be able to find the posts I make right here now. I can put it right on the homepage, so you guys don't have to look hard. So you don't have to come to Facebook or anything if you don't want to. All of my postings go to YouTube as well, which is a cool feature.
Pre-K to 8th grade, and that those
Thank
are the
you,
people who are
Ipona.
targeted. Police tell us that Westman showed up dressed in black, armed with 3 weapons, a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol, and fired outside, did not go inside, is what they believe right now. And it's possible also put some barricades up on doors.
Exactly. Pastor Ben, MAGA is currently crafting a narrative that the Minneapolis Annunciation Catholic shooter who wrote, I am a fan of is that what it says? I am a fan of Columbine in Russian. And racial slurs on the magazines he used to kill children was actually trans because he had long hair. Even if this person is trans, what does that even mean? Trans person means left wing? You know how many people that become whatever, and then they're not left leaning in terms of their politics? So I want to know, MAGA, that's in the chat watching, does trans person exist? Number one, trans people exist then. So trans people exist. I'm glad we got to that point. So, and just because they're trans, does that make them left leaning? That's another question you needed to answer. 1, you're admitting trans people exist. Good job. Glad we're here. 2, is trans person mean left leaning, even if they were trans, which we don't even know for sure yet. It's just right wing sources coming out with that information because long hair. Because he had long hair and freaking buns in the back or whatever the fuck had it going on. So figure that out. You figure out which lane you're gonna go with on that one. But the way I read everything on his weapons and his magazines and the bigoted, racist hatred to everybody and everything, you know, it's easier to understand that this person just he hated himself Hated himself, hated everybody, and wanted to kill children. And that's where we're at with it. But I'm reading my own chat, and I'm seeing the social media trying to focus that this person's trans. This is trans. I know more about Robert Westman in 13 minutes than I know about Thomas Crooks in 13 months. I wonder why. Yeah, because Donald Trump set that up, and it was a fake shooting. That's why. That's why you don't know shit about the Thomas Crooks, and we could find out more about Robin Westman in this one stream than you know more about the shooter that shot Trump, because Trump set that up and it was a fake shooting and it was staged. That's why. That's why you don't know shit about that guy, MAGA. You're getting there. You're close. You're close. You're getting there. You're almost there. You're almost there. Wait, don't we know more about that? I wonder why you don't. Donald Trump wields the entire power of every intelligence agency possible. Same with MAGA. Why don't you have answers? Why don't you have the Epstein files? What happened to those? That's a question you should be answering. Brandon Herrera, the AK guy, is a typical say awful shit for attention MAGA. He's mocked a veteran suicide, reviewed guns used by mass shooters as a joke, among other things. He also supports Russia. Now he's... Oh, you know what? The connection to Brandon Herrera might be more interesting than I initially thought, because that's true. Brandon Herrera spends all day if you look at his takes on Ukraine, they're all pro-Russian. Brandon Herrera's takes on Ukraine are like Ukraine should give up. He's full on in that. I didn't think about that till right now. Oh man, maybe the connection to Brandon Herrera and his liking of Brandon Herrera is actually closer to the mark. Jokes about veteran suicide in 2024. The gun violence group Giffords condemned Brandon Herrera for mocking veteran suicide. The San Antonio Current reported that Brandon Herrera joked, "If it makes everyone in the room feel better, I often think about putting a gun in my mouth. So I'm basically an honorary veteran." Because Brandon Herrera isn't a veteran, is he? He never served. He's like, right? Am I right on that? He comes off, he pretends he is. Is Brandon Herrera a veteran? Wow, I think that's a top Google search. He's never served? No, I think he has to be a veteran. He's a LARPer? He was born... Oh, he's a military baby? Oh, Jesus Christ. No wonder he LARPs it. I would have swore he served. That's why I gotta look into all this shit, bro. There's so many people that are right-wing that, literally are a farm veteran shit and, never serve. Wow. But that's so he covers himself and then hangs out with actual veterans, because his unsubscribed podcasts are veterans. I can't fucking stand him, but Donut Operator is a veteran. Same with Fat Electrician. I thought he was okay. I guess he didn't serve. Now I know. Firearms YouTuber. Ran for office too, got clapped by a pretty mid Republican too. He got destroyed. Ran for office in Texas, I think. Comments on the Holocaust and child abuse. The Texas Tribune and other outlets have reported on Brandon Herrera making flippant quips about the Holocaust and That would fit into the anti-Semitic. Listen, I know we talk about Israel a lot, and I don't support that Nazi government at all. But I make it distinct about what anti-Semitism actually is, and it's not criticism of the Israeli government. That's not anti-Semitism. Literally saying like the Jews deserved the Holocaust. That is the anti-Semitic. That is for sure. You know, that ain't no doubt about it. That is for sure. Hatred of the Jewish faith and people for being Jewish. That's bigoted, and that was written on his shit. He wrote that on his magazine. We read that earlier on his weapon. So he's got that going. Ferrer's politically incorrect online persona is a source of general controversy. He's known for trolling gun safety advocates and for his crassness and irreverence. I have no connection to this guy.
This message brought to you by BlackRock and ExxonMobil. Sponsored by Pabst Blue Ribbon. Brandon Herrera for president. Yeah, I met Brandon Herrera at SHOT Show last year. He and I had...
You used to watch Donut Operator when I was... This is all you need to know about Donut Operator. This is all you need to know about this clown. Okay? This is Donut Operator. Giant vagina. The biggest pussy veteran that has a platform, I think. Hands down. Embarrassing, actually. How much of a pussy this dude is. Totally aura farms it, though. Look at you. Do you see this picture? Man, that guy's gotta be a tough, rough son of a gun. Take no shit. No, he's giant pussy. Massive vagina. Weak pussy. Okay? Telling you guys that right now. They cover themselves in this shit so that way they can hide their pussification of themselves. Vagina. Never forget that. Okay? The only one that can make me chuckle sometimes is Fat Electrician. But even he is like cucked to right-wing shit and like focuses on communism all day long as if like we're not living in fascism. Like, I get it. I'll hear you're crying about how bad communism is. I got you. But like, we are like America is fascist right now and you're not saying anything about it. So you clearly only are directed towards one extreme, which is not even anywhere near power in the United States. Yeah, we have fascist politicians, openly fascist. And if you're only going to choose one extreme to call out, then I think you're a clown. There you go. Oh, I forgot this one too. Jew gas on there. There you go. Minneapolis shooter was a Nazi. Hey, Candace Owens, was the shooter a fan of yours? Damn. No, a Brandon Herrera fan. Which I think that would fall into Candace Owens. Oh, maybe this person was a consumer of the woke right wing. We're going to call them the woke right. How about that? That'll make my not MAGA Republicans not feel attacked every day because I just say conservatives, but I'll fix it. We'll call them the woke right. So that's what they act like, anyways. So I'm actually a little bit more interested in that now, seeing as Brandon Herrera was the inspiration. Grok translated some of the postings. The handwritten text in the drawing is in Russian. Here's a translation. When will this end? Help me. I don't want to. Help. Kill yourself. Kill. Schizophrenic ramblings in Russian, like I said earlier. It's from the final page. Is he Russian then? Anybody? This is a conundrum in terms of I want to know how he's so fluent in Russian. How that doesn't just happen, and like Americans can't just wake up and say, I'm going to do Russian now. It's not like that. That language is expert mode difficult. Minnesota shooter seems more or less someone who came out of the niche communities fetishizing other shooters. Is there I think there is a internet dark place for things like that, for people that look up to other school shooters. Because I think we had, who was I can't remember what mass shooting it was. We have so many now. But we had the one that was also calling back to, I think it was McVeigh. Or it was the other one. Now we have so many shootings now, I can't keep up with them. I can't remember, but I swear that we had one last year, a couple years ago, that also was giving callbacks to other mass shooters. Echoes of Columbine, Sandy Hook here. In one clip, you could read Ted Kay and Robert Bowers from Pittsburgh. What does that say in Russian? Hatred, kill yourself. I'm a terrorist. This says I'm a terrorist in Russian right here. So I'll read you what each one says. This one says kill yourself. This one says, this is hatred in Russian. This one says I'm a terrorist. This is I'm a terrorist right here. And then I don't know, I'm a combined, I don't know, this one doesn't get the full translation. I'm using Google Lens to read some of this. Got a press conference coming up, another one.
They're checking on a child, right? I mean, this was a man who did not expect to be showing up to the hospital today.
Yeah, and that's what we saw from a few of the parents that I got.
So we're waiting for a press conference, another press conference here.
Waiting room when we first got here around 9 o'clock, and I saw a gentleman there. He had two children, little ones, and the little girl was in her school uniform. They had the backpack.
Okay, shout out to 5 Eyewitness News. I've been on 5 Eyewitness News before, and they've shared my work. I just got to use the bathroom quick, so I'm going to leave 5 Eyewitness News up so you guys aren't sitting in silence until this press conference begins. We got a press conference in like 20 minutes.
These parents who drop their children off like we all do, expecting it to be just another day in school. They're at mass, they're in church, and then the next thing they know, they're rushing to the hospital here to see if their children are alive. It's truly heartbreaking.
Wow.
When you think about the pain and suffering that those parents had to go through, and especially the two that lost their loved ones, it's heartbreaking. And then I asked the grandfather, I said, how did you find out about this? And he goes, the first place he actually heard it before he talked to his family was on the news. So, you know, you can imagine what a grandfather, hearing that he knows his granddaughter goes to that school and hearing there's a mass casualty events at the school, you just can't imagine what they're going through, what they have to think when they're racing to the hospital here. So, like I said, the 6 that are being treated here, thankfully, were not the ones seriously injured. It sounds like the seriously injured children were taken to HCMC. Right. But nonetheless, I mean, for every parent, today was a horrible day that will live in their memories and forever.
You're absolutely right about that, Joe. It is horrible for the students there, and we thank you for reporting for us here at Children's. There are parents with children who are already at school who are changing their afternoon plans right now.
Right.
They're just afraid.
For sure.
We know the gunman is dead. The person who fired outside the church was found with a self-inflicted gunshot wound in the parking lot. There is not a threat to other schools. We should make that clear. There is not a threat. But the trouble is there is fear. Parents are sitting there saying, are my kids safe at school?
And it's not going to go away.
Are they okay?
Yeah.
And there are steps being taken, and schools who are reacting and responding with grace to families who are rightfully feeling so shaken about this, just as the school year is starting for so many kids who are figuring out their classes, who are figuring out what they like their teacher and who they're going to sit next to at lunch. And now they're afraid, are they safe? Are they safe when they send them off to school?
They certainly need that reassurance. And we are hearing from our lawmakers, our senators all across the country, and our own Senator Tina Smith joining us now via Zoom. And Senator Smith, your reaction to all of this, I mean, it is just so hard for everyone to hear this news.
It is just so terribly sad. And to think of these little kiddos in their school, in the chapel of their school, and to have this violent attack unleashed on them, the little ones that lost their lives and all of the kids that were in this horrible attack, it's just unfathomable, isn't it? It's so hard to wrap our brains around this kind of evil and hate that somebody would do this. And I think especially this week, so many of our little kids are going off to school this week, some of them from the very first time. And as you were just saying, that sense of having your personal safety, the safety of those that you love, have that sense of safety be shattered in such a terrible and violent way is just really hard to come to grips with.
Senator, I do want to ask you, as someone who represents the state of Minnesota, I hate to say, but I'm wondering if you're even shocked that this has already happened, because as we mentioned earlier, we're reporting on school shootings all the time. Is there anything we can expect to see from you, from your colleagues in Washington, to do anything of substance to help bring some sense of safety, some actual sense of safety to children and families who understand that this probably isn't even the last school shooting this year, as sad as that is to say?
It's so terrible, so terrible to even think of that. And yet I think you're absolutely right. And all of the time that I've been in the Senate, and even before that, when I was lieutenant governor, I have been fighting to bring some common sense laws and rules to our country and to our state, so that we do a better job of keeping guns out of the hands of violent and dangerous people. And it is so frustrating to me that we are unable to make headway, because I just can promise you that all of the families of Annunciation Catholic School are not thinking of this as a political issue. They're thinking of it as a personal safety issue, and common sense rules that would say that, you know, somebody shouldn't be able to just go out and buy an assault rifle, or that they should be able to buy a gun without going through a background check. These are things that almost all Americans agree to, and yet we're constantly stymied by the politics of it at a moment when I think, you know, enough of the politics. Let's just do what we can do that makes sense to help keep our babies safe. And of course, we don't know the situation here. We don't know who this individual really was, what their motivations were. And so I think we have to gather that information. But nonetheless, the need for action on gun safety seems to me so clear.
Well, Senator Smith, we know that you are on the front lines for our state. So when you go back to Washington, what do you say to your fellow lawmakers about this situation and about these guns? I mean, I know that you're talking about it, but how are you going to move that forward as we head back?
Well, you know, what I'm thinking about is how, not so long ago we had this terrible school shooting in Uvalde and Texas. And that started a bipartisan negotiation to make improvements, not nearly as much as we could have done, but it was bipartisan, led by my colleague, Chris Murphy from Connecticut, who of course is from the home state of the of Sandy Hook Elementary School. And so when I go back to Washington, I'm going to be thinking about that bipartisan work that happened. I'm going to be calling for more action, but I'm also going to be trying to make sure that the good work that we did in that bipartisan gun safety bill doesn't get unraveled. You know, even as we speak, some of those violence prevention efforts are being defunded by the Trump administration. And I'm not trying to be political here. I'm just saying that we do know some of the things that we can do to help address gun violence and gun safety. And we shouldn't be taking those strategies apart. We should be building on them right now.
Senator, What about here at home? Your constituents in the state of Minnesota, do you have any words of comfort, any words of sympathy to offer to the families at the school?
I want everybody who is a part of that school, Annunciation School is only a couple of miles from where Archie and I live in South Minneapolis. And I know that that school is the heart of the community, whether you go there or not. You have such a connection to that place and that building and that school. And so I want everyone in that neighborhood and really across Minnesota to say that this should be a moment where we're thinking about love for one another, and not pushing aside. This is a tipping point. Let's push aside this violence and this hate, and let's come together with more love.
Well, we certainly appreciate.
More love doesn't work. Nope. Policies, and especially when you had a political campaign on joy and happiness, and then MAGA hated that. They're like, "Wow, joy and happiness. Wow, how could you have joy and happiness?" So, yeah. They're not going to come together on this. That was Senator Tina Smith. We got a press conference coming up here. Press conference is coming up. I added a lot of bookmarks too here. By the way, the rest of this says I am a Columbine terrorist. That's what that was saying on the magazine in Russian. I am a Columbine terrorist. Also, that patch is an FSB patch and glorified neo-Nazi mass murderers Anders Breivik and Breton Tarrant. That's what it was written on here. When he wrote Hail Breivik and Hail Brenton. I really think I'm not trying to sound like a crazy, the Russians are in our walls type person, but after deep diving into the Russian propaganda for the past 3 years, I could easily not easily. I can guess, because it's a guess, because I don't know, the police are investigating it. I'm just here guessing that this dude was heavily involved in the dark internet of the Russians, which is super Nazi, super it's like MAGA on steroids. Okay. And honestly, they give MAGA a lot of the hatred and narratives to work with anyways in the media. So this dude could have been, because again, I don't know. I'm just guessing here based on what I'm looking at. And also being in the dark corners of Russian propaganda covering the invasion of Ukraine for the past 3 years. This all fits right into that. I'm surprised he doesn't have a Rusich patch. I'm surprised he doesn't have maybe I wonder how many Wagner patches he has. Crazy that this guy was literally talking about his plans to shoot up this church for a month on the internet. But FBI Director Kash Patel and Pam Bondi are too busy going after imaginary MS-13 Home Depot workers. If only they were doing their jobs instead, sad face. July 29th. How do I make Nazi atheist shit? So I'm going to shoot up a church and I want to have some Nazi and atheist stuff. So how do I make flags, armbands, pins, patches, and more? But no. You're a trans person. You can't be right wing. Anti-Labubu thread. I don't know what that means. Probably some crazy internet fascist thing. Stupid and ugly fad, post-destroying Labubus or anything else anti-Labubu. Probably some Nazi symbolism thing that I don't keep up with. And I don't care really, but until it comes to the surface. I realize, chat, if you're a Norman, if you just use the internet for YouTube, that's a surface level internet. There is an iceberg of people on the internet, and there's dark parts of the internet that you have no idea. And this goes on all day. Labubu is a stuffed animal thing. Thank you for explaining that. See, I don't fucking know. The guy that makes chlorine gas got me banned forever off Reddit. Looking up how to make chlorine gas. I'm thinking on shooting up a church. What music to play? It's not mine, just to show some guns. From July 29th. The SCV camp intro video. SCV camp intro. It's on YouTube, JG. I'm thinking of shooting up a church. What music to play? Bombs included. I'm thinking of shooting up a church. What music to play? Yes, I will burn the whole church down. Literally posting on open threads about it in July. I'm thinking funk or that stupid You're Always Better song that is awful, not even because of the Christian part. Yeah, press conference coming up in 8 minutes. Give us some more information about it and what the law enforcement has to say. We saw that interview. We watched that on 5 Eyewitness News here a few minutes. Okay, Jesus Christ. Good thing I didn't keep scrolling for a second. What in the fuck? Oh my God, bro. Good thing I literally stopped. Good thing oh my God. That could have been really bad. Holy. We were one scroll away from... Fine, we just covered a mass shooter manifesto and that would have been rough. Oh my goodness. Block. Yep. It was corn. What in the fuck is happening? Someone that I follow what the fuck? Good thing. Oh my God, fuck this app. I gotta make sure we're clear here. What in the fuck? Elon bought this app and there's no rules anymore. Actually, it's full 4chan. People are uploading entire movies to this platform, guys. Okay, I think we're in the clear there. I can't scroll fast. We've already had a Romanian sausage incident, if you were here for that, last year, 2 years ago. Okay, I think we're in the clear now. I haven't followed that person retweeting fucking corn on their homepage. So I go through my follower list all the time, and I literally have cut it down now to 373 people, and even that's too many. Even that's too many. I mean, hey, NAFO did their thing, whatever, but their thing of a follow for a follow, and motherfuckers out here following 15,000 people, like that's insane. Fix that. My bad, y'all. Good thing you only saw the face, so we didn't scroll to the danger zone. Press conference should begin in 5 minutes. So here's the latest from FBI Director Kash Patel, who I should unfortunately follow. Updates on the shooting in Minneapolis. The FBI is investigating the shooting as an act of domestic terrorism and hate crime targeting Catholics. There were 2 fatalities, an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old. In addition, 14 children and 3 adults were injured. The shooter has been identified as Robin Westman, a male born as Robert Westman. The FBI will continue to provide updates on our ongoing investigation with the public as we are able to. That's the update. They had a post at 9:45 a.m. and then here's the most recent one from Kash Patel. If you don't know what the Romanian sausage is, that's fine.
Microphone test before the press conference at 2:30. Microphone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alrighty, yeah, no problem.
I knew they were going to do that. I knew they were going to focus on just that this person's a trans person and not their actual ideologies, which were rooted in hate for everyone. But they're going to do, oh, trans person, therefore left wing. Trans person, therefore Democrat. And then Republicans can, all in a day's work, back to getting mad at Cracker Barrel. Case solved. Trans person, Democrat. Now I can go back to Cracker Barrel anger. That's how they consume news, guys. You know, the most of them. Fucking MAGA freaks. There you go, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Today's evil school church shooter was a trans who was likely groomed and transitioned as a teenager. Congress must pass my bill protecting children's innocent act to make a felony to perform sex change surgeries. These are legit, though. These are. So, in the matter of the application of Mary Grace Westman on behalf of Robert Paul Westman for a change of name for Robert M. Westman, Robin M. The above entitled matter came on a hearing before undersigned judge on 4/15/20 upon the application of a name change of a minor. So they were a minor when they got their name changed from Robert to Robin. The applicant requests to have the names of each minor child changed to Robin. The minor child has not been convicted of a felony in any state. Minor child identifies as a female and wants her name to reflect on that identification. So MAGA is going to say, you know, this person's mental illness is due to their trans thing. Their mental illness because they want to be a trans person. And they took hormone drugs, and that's what made them crazy. And not the deep-rooted, clear issues that are an actual problem with the person. So just be prepared for that. I'm not, at this point, doing this for 5 years, I mean, people are going to say what they want at this point. And fighting them, I don't have the energy for it, because then I just want to, like, rage myself, to be honest. So people are going to take it and run with however they want. Well, the facts are, is this person trans? Looks like it. Does that mean that like, because they're trans, make that their politics or Democrat politics? Or, like, trying to always, like, it was this person's mission to make more trans people? Seems like this person's mission was to kill as many people as possible. Of all types. Religious, background, whether you're brown, hated brown and black people. Had no problem with anti-gay bigotry written on the magazines. So you're gonna have that, and just be ready for it. You're gonna have MAGA that are gonna blame the trans aspect of this. Not that it could be we have unknown's amount of firearms access, but then also too, the irony of it is somebody that should not have firearms and should be red flag, you know, like you talk about that, and then also the people that are like for guns will like freak out and be like, no, that's infringement. Hey, how about some gun reform so people that are psychotic can't access firearms? What kind of what? Hey, how about some common sense gun reform to where people that have like backgrounds that are like violent shouldn't have a firearm? What kind of America is this? Hey, how about background checks? He had no background. Background also includes should also include social media postings. If like, especially social media postings from months ago, Or was it? If you're literally posting, I'm going to shoot up a church and I have some Nazi shit I'm going to do, that should be a flag. You should be flagged for that. I don't think you should have the freedom of speech if you wanted to go on the internet and say, I'm going to go shoot up a fucking... And you don't, actually. That's why you had to post this on some forum. If you posted that on Facebook or other social media, you'd be shit-canned, obviously. But it should be... The government should be in these fucking dark internet and actually do something useful instead of giving all of our money to billionaires, because they don't actually give a shit about this. The Battle of DC, call it. Damn. Meanwhile, our soldiers. Dang, dude. We're gonna beautify DC, and we're using our troops to do it. What a dog shit detail. I see this picture, and I am so glad I am out of the military. Holy boy. Oh boy, am I glad I'm out. Because the military itself makes you do dumb shit like this. Imagine if it came directly from the president of the United States. It was like, I got some personal dumb shit you got to do. Because the command would already do that. So you'd already, like, your commander and whatever would already have you be out there painting rocks or something. Brushing the sidewalk while it's snowing. Pushing puddles while it's raining type shit. Actually, no joke though. You do that in the military. It's pouring rain and there's puddles and you need to get rid of them. It's pouring rain. Those puddles need to get out of here. Right, Roger, Sergeant. Moving. That's it. And you got to go do it. So the military itself already gives you enough dumb shit to do. And then now you got the President of the United States also adding to that. What a fun time to be in the military. Listen, y'all, hey, I already had some people that hit me up asking about the military, and great benefits, great, you know, school paid for, you get paid while you go to school, all that's great. GI Bill, goated, definitely. Possibility of signing bonuses, not guaranteed, but right now, yeah, have your loved one signed up while Trump's president if you want. Probably be fighting Mexico soon or something. Doing some other crazy shit. Dude, I would not recommend anyone signing up for the military right now. Have you out there in Ohio somewhere digging a hole because Republicans are scared or something. You're gonna have the military trying to figure out who ate the cats and the dogs soon. Stay away from that. Dory Mary figured it out. Memes, Jesus, and coffee. Keep women's sports. Trump is our president. The same type of person every time, isn't it? And the same unseasoned person. Mayo is spicy person. Like every time, isn't it? What radicalized this guy to attack Christian children praying at a school? It couldn't be the hormones he's hopped up on in order to pretend being a girl. Exactly, there it is. Just be ready for that. They're gonna blame... And who even knows if this person was on hormones? Yeah, they changed their name. From Robert to Robin. Had long hair. Beyond that do we know if they were taking hormones? And also the amount of empirical data we have of like people taking hormones to transition and not shooting up a school or anything or doing anything violent absolutely outweighs the event that like this. It also couldn't be the anti-Christian bigotry that the anti. There was like the only anti-Christian thing that we really saw, obviously, was killing kids in a school, the Jesus thing. But the majority of the messages were hatred at everything. In Russian too. Psycho MAGA, dude. Psycho MAGA. Anti-Christian bigotry. That Democrats push that, apparently. That is, I think the Christian victimhood thing is the most LARPing thing I've ever heard. I think they just want to feel included. Like, we're victims too! That's really what the energy is. Because, I mean, hey, you got the Jewish faith, obviously. Yeah, they were genocided in World War II. You know, Muslims are just hated for existing because they're brown people. So that racism there. But Christians, you know, hey, they got to feel that they're victims too. Hey, they're taking their Starbucks is taking our Jesus and put the snowman on there. We're hated. They hate us. We think about us. We exist. Meanwhile, the majority of like American shit is still beneficial to Christians. And you're usually afforded more opportunities if that's your thing. If you like praise God and thank God for everything, you are a golden child in America.
Here's a mic check. Mic check. I'm hearing you. Go.
Waiting for the press conference, guys. They're supposed to start. You got Christians being killed in Ukraine, buddy. You got ironically Russians bombing Christian churches every day, and you don't hear these MAGA mayo is spicy losers crying about Christians then. They don't care. It's because they can play political games today. But later on, Russia will bomb a Christian Orthodox church in silence. Or, oh, well, they should, Ukrainians deserved it because they shouldn't have fought back. Ukrainians should have just taken it and let the Russians, like, own them. But I want to hear it. Not just the Orthodox Christians, too, but you got the evangelical churches, too. I hear a fucking thing. Practice your religion if you want. Like, I don't care, but boy, is that shit. Like, there's a lot of LARPers. That's what really pushed me away from it. People that act Christian, never read the Bible and what it preaches at all. Don't act on any of the teachings ever in their life. And then when other Christians of like people that are actually like being destroyed or killed, they don't care because Democrats supported Ukraine or something. We're probably going to get confirmation. So what we're going to get out of this...
Folks speaking are walking down, so we'll start in just a minute or two.
We're going to get probably the confirmation of the identity of the shooter. Maybe any other information that we haven't been able to look into yet. They're probably going to talk about the videos surfaced online. Maybe they'll confirm or deny them. I would like to know, if I were there, I would ask about the Russian. What's the connection to the shooter and his fluency in Russian? Or I don't know if he could just write it. Can he speak in Russian? I think we got the officials walking to the podium now, so they're just waiting for that. Yeah, take a moment really quick, just, you know, it's hard to ask for support during a stream like this, but just hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel for any and all breaking news coverage. Sorry I wasn't awake right when this happened, but I do need to sleep, and I'm one person. But we've been live for the past 2.5 hours covering it and deep diving into information about the shooter and providing as much as I can. So thank you to everybody that supports the stream. Just like and share if you could. I appreciate that. Like, share, follow, subscribe, all that. All the free things you can do to support. You know Russia fought the Nazis, right? You know that Russia invaded Poland in 1939 to start the World War II? Did you know that? You talk about I'm clueless. NATO of Canada. The fuck you mean? The Russians started World War II. And we had to bail their fucking ass out with the Lend-Lease. You ain't gonna know more about that than me. Sit down. The Russians fought the Nazis. The Russians are Nazis. Nazis fighting Nazis. Tim Walz is there.
Let's go.
Russia started World War II, LOL. Tell me you know nothing, one good guy. You don't even know World War II history, and you're in here talking like current events as if you know shit? What an idiot. You don't know that Russia started World War II with the Nazis? Are you actually kidding me right now? You're joking. The Russia were the good guys. Holy fuck, bro. Bunch of dumb fucks, dude. Don't know your history. You don't care. Jesus Christ. They didn't help Germany. They invaded Poland with Germany. Killed, massacred the Poles. And then Hitler double-crossed Stalin. And then Stalin needed help. Lend-Lease.
A news conference that no one wants to be at. A community behind us, Annunciation Church and School, committed to academics, service, and Catholic values, filled with the first days of school of beautiful children going to learn those values, share with their teachers and their classmates.
It's got to be better audio.
Joy and that curiosity and that learning, they were met with evil and horror and death. A place that's founded on community, founded on service, founded on family.
Better audio here.
I'd like to give special thank you to the mayor and the team in Minneapolis, the Minneapolis Police Department, Hennepin County Sheriff's Office, Minnesota State Patrol, the BCA, so many agencies, our federal partners in the FBI, the first responders, and the heroic work that's happening now as we speak at multiple medical locations, including Hennepin County Medical Center, where most of our children were transported to receive the life-saving care. The thoughts and prayers and the hopes and the support that we need to give them in this moment, too, is critical. Speaking with all the people here and grateful to our federal partners, Senator Klobuchar speaking early this morning and receiving a call from President Trump, who was with his leadership team of the Attorney General and the Vice President, expressing their deep condolences amongst the horror that happened and an offer to provide the support to the folks here in Minnesota of what's needed. So there's a lot of cameras here, and unfortunately we have been through these types of things. They will be gone at some point. All of you, you have to do your jobs. But what happened here today will not be gone. Minnesotans will not step away. We'll stand with this community. We'll redouble ourselves to do the best we can to understand what we can do to prevent any parent from having to receive the calls they received today, from any school dedicated to children having to respond to a situation that, as we said, is unthinkable, but that's all too common, not just in Minnesota, but across this country. It's Minnesota's day today, and it's my strongest desire that no state, no community, no school ever experiences a day like this. So I ask the rest of the folks around the country who are watching, keep us in your thoughts and prayers, but also keep us in the thoughts for action together. And it's on these days like this, I think, and I hope we can hold on to it. We are unified as a community. Everybody across the country today is part of the Annunciation Parish, and they're with those families. With that, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey.
Thank you, Governor. Throughout the morning, we have seen this extraordinary Minneapolis family step up in thousands of different ways. People with strength, resilience, compassion, and love for the families that have been forever impacted by this heinous act. We want to make sure that we're doing everything possible for them right now, and I want to give a special thank you, and we are so grateful to all of the faculty and the teachers at Annunciation. The way that they acted during severe threat and danger was nothing short of heroic. This is a tragic and horrible event that should never occur, and it would have been all the more tragic and horrible had they not stepped in, at times perhaps put themselves in danger to protect others. As horrible as this has been, it could have been far worse. I'm grateful for our law enforcement partners, our police officers in the Minneapolis Police Department and other law enforcement agencies well beyond that step up, that answered the call to make sure that they were running towards danger when so many of the rest of us would have run in the other direction. Thank you. We are so appreciative of your service. To Principal DeBoer and your whole team, the ethic that you have showed, the love that you've shown, it's flat out incredible. And at the same time, look, we need to be doing more than talking. It can't just be words. There needs to be action. And when we have seen school shooting after school shooting, when we have seen churches get shot up by horrible actors, I think the impetus has to be on all of us as leaders to do a whole lot more, to recognize that we've got more guns in this country than we have people. And it's on all of us to recognize the truth and the reality that we can't just say that this shouldn't happen again and then allow it to happen again and again beyond that. It's on all of us. And I have heard about a whole lot of hate that's being directed at our trans community. Anybody who is using this as an opportunity to villainize our trans community or any other community out there has lost their sense of common humanity.
They already have a long time
We should
ago.
not be operating out of a place of hate for anyone. We should be operating from a place of love for our kids. Kids died today. This needs to be about them. This needs to be wrapping our arms around these families with every bit of love that we can possibly show. And I know that our Minneapolis family and well beyond is prepared to do exactly that. And so my message to everyone out there is, again, these families are experiencing some acute pain right now. But don't just think of these as somebody else's kids. Think of your own. Let's make sure that we're acting now to not just say it's never happening again, but ensure it doesn't. Our chief of police, who's been working tirelessly throughout the day, along with, again, a number of different law enforcement agencies, investigators, federal partners, state partners. Thank you, Senator Klobuchar, for being here. Been working tirelessly, and I'd like to invite him up to give some more of the details that have come up. Chief.
My name is Brian O'Hara, B-R-I-A-N, O''H-A-R-A. I am the Minneapolis Police Chief. Good afternoon, and thank you all for your patience as we continue to gather the facts in this investigation into this truly unthinkable tragedy that happened here earlier today. I want to make sure that we are providing the most accurate information possible, particularly as we speak around our victims. At this point, we know we have a total of 19 victims from this tragedy.
19 now.
2 were young children, ages 8 and 10, that were sitting in the pews at Mass when they were shot and killed. They were pronounced deceased on the scene. There were another 14 children between the ages of 6 and 15 that were injured by gunfire. There were also 3 adults in their 80s that were parishioners here attending Mass that were also shot in this incident. The families of all of the children that have been affected have been notified. The coward that shot these victims took his own life in the rear of the church. That coward has been identified as 23-year-old Robin Westman. No prior criminal history. As to the weapons used to perpetrate this horrific attack, there was a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol. All 3 had been lawfully purchased by the shooter.
Wow. Lawfully purchased weapons.
At this stage, we believe that the shooter had acted alone. There is no indication of other suspects directly involved in carrying out this attack. Our investigators are working with other agencies in the process of executing 4 search warrants. 1 is for the church itself, where this crime occurred. The other 3 are residences nearby in the metro that are related to this shooter. Additional firearms are being recovered from those 3 residential locations as we speak. We are also aware of a manifesto that the shooter had timed to be released on YouTube. This manifesto appeared to show him at the scene and included some disturbing writings. That content has since been taken down with the assistance of the FBI, and it now remains under active review by our investigators. We know this community is reeling and is in pain. I want to ensure everyone in our community, this parish, all of the families affected, and all of our residents, that all of law enforcement collectively, local law enforcement, our county, our state, and all of our federal law enforcement partners have been here, and we are all working tirelessly to uncover the full scope of what happened, to try and identify a motive why it happened, and whether there are any other further details. We will continue to share updates as the investigation progresses, and we remain committed to being as transparent as possible while protecting the integrity of this investigation. In a moment, I will take some questions that I am able to answer, but first I want to bring up the principal of Annunciation School, Matt Du Bois, as well as, after him, the Archbishop, our Archbishop Bernard Hebda. So, Principal?
Yeah, Gen X, you're a moron. That police chief just started the job.
To any of our students and families and staff watching.
And the police in Minneapolis was never defunded. Never was.
You're so brave, and I'm so sorry this happened to us today. Within seconds of this situation beginning, our teachers were heroes. Children were ducked down. Adults were protecting children. Older children were protecting younger children. And as we heard earlier, it could have been significantly worse without their heroic action. This is a nightmare, but we call our staff the dream team. And we will recover from this. We will rebuild from this. When we planned for this school year, we intentionally chose a theme from the prophet Jeremiah chapter 29, a future filled with hope. There's nothing about today that can fill us with hope. We, as a community, have a responsibility to make sure that no child, no parent, no teacher ever has to experience what we've experienced today, ever again. I need everybody to commit those words to your speech patterns, never again. We lost 2 angels today. And please continue to pray for those still receiving care. We can't change the past, but we can do something about the future. There's an African proverb that says, when you pray, move your feet. So I beg you, I ask you to please pray, but don't stop with your words. Let's make a difference and support this community, these children, these families, these teachers. Never again can we let this happen. I love you, Annunciation family. We're with you, and we will be stronger when this is done. Archbishop Hebda will be coming next.
This press conference is live.
Thank you, Principal DeBoer. I'm so grateful that Mayor Fry and the Chief both mentioned how valiant you and your staff were. I'm so grateful to the pastor here at Annunciation, Father Dennis Zarin, for the Deacon Kevin Keneally, also were heroic in this time. But how sad it is, for sure, not only for the families who are directly involved, but indeed for families everywhere who feel the threat that comes from an event, a tragedy like today's. I would never want to correct a principal, but Principal DeBoer said it wasn't so clear where would be the source of hope. And brothers and sisters, we have to be men and women of hope. Already today, I've been receiving messages from all over our country promising prayers. And I think it's the prayers of the feet as well, Principal. That is, for me, is a source of hope, just as we see families stepping forward to help those who have been impacted by this terrible tragedy. Very grateful that Principal DeBoer spoke about prayer. Certainly that the bell in a Catholic church is always a call to prayer. And so it's a reminder for us, for sure, to be praying. And we have to recognize that it's through prayer and through that prayer of the feet, through that action, that we can indeed make a difference. That has to be the source of our hope. I was particularly pleased today to receive a message from Pope Leo. If you'd bear with me, I'd like to share that with you. It comes directly from Cardinal Pietro Parolin, who's the Secretary of State, and it reads like this. His Holiness Pope Leo XIV was profoundly saddened to learn of the loss of life and injuries following the shooting that took place at Annunciation Church in Minneapolis. And he sends his heartfelt condolences and the assurance of spiritual closeness to all those affected by this terrible tragedy, especially the families now grieving the loss of a child, while commending the souls of the deceased children to the love of Almighty God. His Holiness prays for the wounded as well as the first responders, medical personnel, and clergy who are caring for them and their loved ones. At this extremely difficult time, the Holy Father imparts to the Annunciation Catholic School community, the Archdiocese of St. Paul and Minneapolis, and the people of the greater Twin Cities metropolitan area, his apostolic blessing as a pledge of peace, fortitude, and consolation in the Lord Jesus. My brothers and sisters, that gives me some hope. We know that the Holy Father, Pope Leo, did his hospital training right here in Minneapolis, so he knows our community, and he's been reminding anybody visiting from Minnesota that he spent some time here. We're very grateful for his blessing, But I, like those who have spoken before, ask that you would continue to look for those ways of supporting those who have been impacted today, not only with your prayers, but also with your action. Thank you. And Chief, I now turn this back to you for your questions.
From the Archbishop at
Thank
the
you, Archbishop.
church. You guys are watching a live press conference in Minneapolis.
I'll take some questions now, and additionally, we will let you know when we can provide some updated information.
How are the injured students doing? What are their conditions?
The question from Matt was, how are the injured students doing? I believe all of them have their parents with them now, and they are all expected to survive. All of the remaining victims are expected to survive. There is a range of injuries, however.
Chief, you said the weapons were acquired legally. Do we know when
Yes.
and where they were acquired?
Yeah.
I can tell you they were purchased recently.
Wow. So he was already posting online about wanting to go shoot up a school and then was able to legally buy a firearm. That can't happen.
Okay. So the question was on a possible motive and a relationship to the church or to the school. I have no information to share on a motive other than saying again that there was some sort of manifesto that was timed to come out on YouTube. It's been taken down and our investigators are going through that to try and develop a motive from that. Additionally, there are these 3 search warrants happening in residential locations, and we may very well, find more information or writings that could give some sense to that, but we don't have that now. And I cannot confirm a relationship between the suspect or his family and this church at this time, but that's obviously something we're looking very closely at.
Trump is evil. You also said a lot of other crazy shit, though.
What was by the suspect? I'm sorry. Okay. Yep. So the question was about the manifesto. We do believe it was by the suspect, yes.
And we understand that we've seen some documents about the name change that somebody with the same name as the suspect has filed for a few years ago.
Yep.
Do you believe this to be the same person, that Robin Westman was in fact born with a different name at this point? And can you speak a little bit more about the identity?
Yep. So the question was about the suspect, and he had a name change at some point in the past. I cannot confirm that other than confirming the identity, the name that I gave you, the age. That is the suspect. That's the person that we believe has caused this.
Chief, you mentioned these videos posted on YouTube, seemingly scheduled to be posted right after the shooting. Is there anything that the suspect posted days prior, months prior, that could shed any light on your mindset?
Yep. So the question was, we mentioned that the YouTube videos were scheduled to be posted. Is there anything else in social media that may shed some light into this? We do not have information on that at this time that I'm able to share. However, our investigators and our law enforcement partners are definitely looking at that.
About how many children and parishioners were in the church when this happened?
So the question was how many children and parishioners were in the church when this happened. This was towards the beginning of Mass, so some of the children were already filed into the church and were seated. Others were coming in. I've heard estimates, but we will release a more definitive number.
We already went into everything about the background. If you guys just started tuning in, you're going to have to rewind the stream, and we did a deep dive on him. YouTube, we watched his manifesto. I translated shit.
Sue's question was resources for Minneapolis police due to the other challenges we've had the last 24 hours. Obviously, this has been the most difficult. The dozens of officers that responded to this scene, many of them are deeply traumatized by what they saw, as are obviously all of the children, all of the staff members, Father Dennis, everyone who was at Mass this morning. So obviously that has been our number one priority, is to care for the health and wellness of the officers that responded here. Additionally, obviously, we have responded to other challenging situations and other acts of violence. I can say, in regard to the shooting that happened outside of the high school yesterday, we have arrested 2 people for assisting in that shooting. We have not gotten the shooter yet, but we believe we have 2 people under arrest that were present with the shooter when that happened, and we're making significant progress. There was an additional arrest at a homicide last night that happened on the 2700 block of 3rd Avenue South. That person has not been booked specifically for being responsible for that murder, but we believe that is the person who caused that. So, no, unfortunately not. Yep.
A lot of the politicians here, the principal and others have said that this can never happen again. I'm just wondering if you have a suggestion for where we start to make sure it doesn't ever happen again.
Yeah, so the question was, where do we start to make sure this doesn't happen again? I don't have an answer for that at this time.
Chief, we understand from the federals that there is an idea that this might be investigated, maybe it already is, I'm not sure of my information, as a hate crime against Catholics. I'm asking you, perhaps, Archbishop, is this a line of investigation that you have open? Can you comment on that?
So the question is this an investigation into a hate crime against Catholics? We don't have a motive at this time. Obviously, we're open to any possibilities at all, but we don't have a motive or anything to suggest that.
Do you know if there is any more safety, any more protective measures that are implemented at other Catholic schools throughout the Twin Cities or churches? I'm sure there are masses going around right now this afternoon.
Yeah.
It's just a week out from, or a few days before the start of school.
Yeah. So the question is the concern for other churches, other schools around the metro. Unfortunately, this is something that our community has been dealing with for some time. The threat of active shooters, the threat of hate crimes at houses of worship, unfortunately, is not something new here. And of course, our precinct inspectors, our crime prevention specialists are available to work with both houses of worship, churches, and schools that do reach out to assist in any additional security measures or advice that we can offer them.
About that to follow up, are you aware if this is the first time that actually a Catholic mass has been targeted and there have been victims inside a Catholic church during mass? In the Twin Cities, not
in the Twin Cities?
I'm unaware of any other.
Yeah, from the the question was, this the first time that there's been attack of Catholics at Mass in the Twin Cities area? The Archbishop is unaware of any other attack. The question was, is it being investigated by the FBI? Well, the FBI is here with us and has been a part of this entire investigation, as well as the ATF, other law enforcement. It's being led right now by the Minneapolis Police Department, and we are looking at, obviously, any possibilities from wherever the evidence will lead us from what we recover. Absolutely.
Thank you all again so much for your time today, for your support. Thank you. Yes, I think there's probably 2 names you would like spelling for. It's Principal Matt DeBoer, D-E-M-A-T-T-D-E-B-O-E-R. David Edward Boy, Ocean Edward Robert.
Nothing from Amy Klobuchar. She's talking to the police
And
chief.
it's Archbishop.
So yeah, Governor Tim Walz. You had Mayor Jacob Fry.
A-R-D, Hebda.
Amy Klobuchar.
D-A. Hebda.
Heard from religious leaders in the area.
We do not have any further planned press conferences for today. The focus now switches to the healing process, which will include some vigils tonight, and we're encouraging people to show us support through those. If any more information does become available that we think is important to share with you, we will let you know about if and when or how we're going to share that. So until tomorrow, that's all we have for now. We have some information perhaps about vigils that might be helpful.
Yeah, I just actually wanted to reiterate messages that are helpful for members of the public that want to support. Donating money is the best way for members of the community to support the victims of the Annunciation Church shooting. In coordination with the City of Minneapolis, the Minneapolis Foundation has established a text to donate line. To donate, the public can text ACF1, that's A as in apple, C as in cat, F as in fox, numeral 1 to 41444. That's ACF1 to 41444. The Minneapolis Foundation is hosting this fund and will continue to work with the community in the coming days and weeks to equitably distribute the funds to those affected. Thanks for the help in getting that information out to the public that wants to assist.
I don't know. That's like a parent talking to the police chief or what?
What I can say is that the Minneapolis Foundation is hosting this fund, and they're going to work in the coming days to distribute the funding equitably to those who need it.
Paying what off?
I don't have any more
If there's victims, there's families that need shit. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Are you not understanding that, like, there's 2 funerals are gonna happen. There's medical bills because there's 17 kids that are like in not critical. They're gonna make it, thankfully, but they're in the hospital right now. What do you mean, bro? I mean, I'm reading some of the shit. Well, if a racist, remember that Shiloh Hendricks racist in Minnesota who like went viral for yelling the N-word at kids, and she raised like 1.7 like millions of dollars from other Nazis. If she can fundraise money after her little victimhood thing for being racist, then a school shooting and the victims of a school shooting and their families can get supported if people want to. Jesus. What the heck? I'm seeing some of the most cooked comments ever. Some of the most cooked comments is just ruining my hope for humanity overall. I don't know whether or not people are just don't know what to say because you're just emotionally just out of there. But this is why I tell y'all guys, if you only consume news all day long, you are going to lose your mind. If you only consume news like this dog shit, you're going to be misinformed. So you're probably, a lot of you are stuck between a misinformed place and an overwhelmed, like, I can't handle it anymore place. You need to take breaks. I'm telling y'all. I provide so much content to not without this news because this news is obviously traumatic. And whenever it happens, we got gaming content. I got softball content. I got other things. You need to take breaks. I'm seeing a couple of your guys' comments. I'm just like tired. I'm overwhelmed. Then take a break. There's no situation in which you're forced to consume the news all day long. The news is bad. Okay. It's only going to get worse. There's good news that happens, but like overall, like we're not going in a good direction. So take a break and do something. Find a hobby, and then do that, and then come back. That's why I do it. Okay, I have gaming. You know, a lot of people come over don't even like games, but they like the community, and we're over there. And so maybe you will like the game. Maybe you end up, oh wow, this game is good, or something. But if it's not from me, then go watch another content creator and watch some other content. Don't doom scroll. Take a break. So this is a good response because obviously you're going to have the trans hatred coming out of MAGA and blaming the shooting on trans people existing, which they are admitting that trans people exist, but then they're painting a political leaning to trans people. So trans people commit 0.11% of mass shootings and are 0.8% of the population. Cis men commit 98% of mass shootings and are 50% of the population. Like if you did a list of how many mass shootings are committed by straight white males, we'd be scrolling like a Star Wars scroll. Oh, here you go. That didn't take long. Wild. Instead, you could just be like, this person was out of their fucking mind. They had access to firearms. And 2 things are true. 1, eat ups. iDubbbz, you're making a difference. Keep it up, Bug. Pretty sure he's making fun of iDubbbz. eDubbbz uploaded. eDubbbz. It sounds like I'm making fun of iDubbbz, so it sounds like he's adding to that. Dan. People are so cooked. Hugh, I'm timing out just because I don't like you. Now, no other reason. I personally don't like you, so you're getting timed out. You can come back tomorrow. Our children deserve a better country than this. It's like two things can be true. One, we have a mental health problem in America, but we also have a gun problem too. Anybody and anybody can access firearms in the U.S. Purchase them legally. Legally purchase firearms. Double confirmed in the press conference by the police chief. So mental health issues combined with unfettered access to firearms is not good. So both issues need to be, both issues need to be addressed of mental health, but also the funding to mental health. There are those darn Republicans that always want to focus on the mental health side of it, but then when it comes to funding it, that's woke. DEI. That's communism. Socialism. We can't invest into mental health services. That's what the communists did. I swear to God, though, I'm memeing, but that's what they say. Whenever you have like investment or politicians that advocate for more money that go into mental health services, that's left. That's liberal shit. Liberals do that. I say they just pick themselves up from their bootstraps. That's what they should do. But then you're like, okay, well, we can't address the mental health shit because then the Republicans are just going to vote down any policy that gets put into the government. Okay, how about the guns? Whoa, buddy. Hold on a second now, pal. We have a little thing called the Second Amendment, and that shall not be infringed. You will not infringe my guns. You will not infringe. So they don't want to. The right side, the woke right or whatever, want nothing to happen. They would prefer nothing, as if like, oh, this was just a day of like crazy and like some kids got killed. Okay, anyways, next day, Cracker Barrel. Hey, let's solve this mass shooting epidemic. No, that's not, because you can't take my guns and mental health is woke. So mental health is for liberals. Liberals have mental health. We don't have that. It's a liberal thing. The shooter is from the far left. Dan, did you spend 3 seconds looking at any of the fucking material that was put out besides this? I can't, dude, with content creators and shit, dude. Did you spend at least 2 seconds looking at any of the material from the weapons on his bed and his writings? And you would quickly realize this dude is like at least a Nazi, which falls into the right-wing hemisphere of things. And like at very best, he's a Nazi. Beyond that, he's got Russian shit connections to him. Not a single thing points me to this person as like, you know what I mean? Like a far leftist. Like an extremist, communist, Marxist, like hammer sickle person. No, absolutely not. This is on the other side of it. If we're really going to get into it, from like what we're seeing in the messaging, the writings, Russians, the Brandon Herrera love. I think it's just, you got Dan, and Dan was best friends with Destiny, and they hate Hassan, so they're just going to find a way to connect this to Hassan somehow. I really think that's what a lot of it is. A lot of people are biased, and they're going to force and fist a narrative instead of just giving it what it is. They will fist a narrative to you, and a lot of them are on the right wing. The trans agenda is losing. How come? Hey, Leroy, you don't get to come into be a new account. I'm not hiding the Trump shit. You act like what? Hiding what? Listen, I go live at noon, and if you're here, you're here. If you missed what we do, I covered we went through this entire video, and Trump death is in there, or whatever, kill Trump or whatever he says, along with bigotry to gay people, bigotry to black people, bigotry to Mexicans, bigotry to Jews, and everything else. But MAGA, being a bunch of cultist freak losers, are going to look at this and say, this guy left this because he put hate Trump on there. He has kill pedos on there too, MAGA. Isn't that your thing too? Is he one of you now? Because y'all are all about that. I would agree on a side, but MAGA does it in a way that they hide their own pedophilia, and then they support a pedophile president. So I think a lot of them are actual pedophiles on the right wing, and then they like put the kill pedophile thing to like shield them so that way they can go fuck kids, like our president does. But I guess that message doesn't mean anything either, huh? Meanwhile, you could just be a normal person and say this person's psychotic. It has a lot of different hatred leanings. But no, you put Trump on there. There you go. There you go. Ball pilled. What does that even mean? I don't even want to look that up. No one knows what that even means. Mercado's going to hide the kill Trump now part. He doesn't want to show you that. Fuck out of here, dude. I don't care, dude. I do a stream. So if you ever want to go back and rewatch what I cover and what we talk about, you can. What about Trump? I believe both sides should be happy with pedo getting killed, just saying. There's more than two sides, by the way. I think both sides should be. But there's like 18,000 sides. I can't believe we actually had people arguing with me about the Soviet invasion of Poland. Why did that happen? We had some like Russian-pilled losers in here that were arguing with me about Soviet invasion of Poland. As if that didn't happen. The fuck is that about? Yeah, I went through this whole thing. I also retweeted it too. If you want to, I can't just direct upload his manifesto and shit. I'll get taken down. So I reposted the entire thread of his 11-minute video, and then you got that of his YouTube channel, and then you got him flipping through a bunch of Russian writings of a manifesto, and then you got his weapons and photos that says Donald Trump, all right, rip and tear, kill Donald Trump, rip and tear on the High Capacity magazine. And then also he finally posted a YouTube short of him flipping through another manifesto because it seems he just has like a bunch of them. Russia started. What do you think the invasion of Poland in 1939 did? One good guy. What do you think? What do you think happened after that? Holy fuck, dude! This is it. I'm done after this one. I'm tired. I can't handle dumb. I can only handle so much stupid. I can't handle it beyond that. What do you think came after this? Oh my god, bro. I mean, it's mental health, but it's also education in our country. That's what it is. And Europeans, that's where we're at in America. The Russians didn't start World War II. You know why? It's because America helped the Soviet Union with Lend-Lease. So in our own education, we were like propagandized not to like look at the Soviets. Other than communism bad. America did good on that one. When we're growing up and we're in school and shit. Communism bad, hammer sickle bad. But then when it comes to World War II, they only told us the Nazis were invading Poland. Because we helped the Soviet Union. And that would make America look bad because we helped them in the Lend-Lease. Fucking dumb fucks. One good guy, you're getting timed out for being stupid too, actually. I'm timing you out for just being dumb. It's a personal timeout too. I want you to know that. Personal timeout. I've given out 2 of them for just being stupid. Instead, we should have been focused on the fact Russia is like Nazi Germany light. Or actually the same. Or worse. We should have defeated them too. At the same time, we should have double-crossed Stalin like Hitler did. But like we had the full force of the allies with us. And we should have fucking got Stalin up out of there too. In one fall swoop. But that didn't happen because we helped the lesser of the two evils in the war and came to Soviet Union's aid. We should have crushed them then. Dumb fucking people, dude. I'm sorry. I will try not to swear, but like, I can't handle it when it's like history has happened and it's documented, and then you have losers that don't know a fucking thing in 2025 come here and say, the Soviet Union didn't start World War II. Because you have no idea what you're talking about. Why are we talking about this? Because of the Russian written in this guy's, if you're just starting to tune in, there's a lot of Russian written in this guy's manifesto and on his magazines and shit. And so we had some right-wing fucks to come in here and act like they know about World War II. And then didn't know that we had Soviet invasion of Poland. On Twitch too, by the way. Not just one guy on YouTube. You had NATO of Canada. 30 million Russians died versus Nazi Germany. You should be ashamed. Yeah, it's too bad the number wasn't higher. It's too bad too many Soviets in Russia got through. Maybe less, maybe Ukraine wouldn't have been occupied as long as it was. Maybe some of the Eastern European countries would have had their independence a lot faster. God damn, dude. We have dumb. It's just, we have a plague of stupidity. And I'm not even going to act like I know everything. I don't. But I take the time to, like, look into it. Like, for, like, 3 seconds. Like, look into it. Google it. AI it. You have an AI now. AI does stuff for you. Easy. You can go like this. ChatGPT. Did Soviets invade Poland? Did that happen? Oh, I even spelled invade wrong. Yeah, they did. They did it. Which led to the Katyn massacre. And then we had Nazi Germany investigating the Katyn massacre along the Red Cross, and that was interesting to look into. When you had the SS out there going, well, look at these Soviets committing genocides. Only we can do that, but we're going to investigate it like we're the good guys. Wild shit going on during that time period. You can look back to the 30s as to America today, which is scary. 1930s Germany is really close to the road we're going down in America right now. Germany wasn't the biggest fan of Russia. That's to put it lightly. But Russia had their own goals of conquest too. So, and they still do. Nothing's changed. Like literally nothing has changed in Russia. They're just rebranded. Anyways, I'm ranting on that because of the writings on the shooters' guns and shit. It's a nuke India. Hates India too, I guess. But can you connect that to the H-1B visa program that MAGA was upset about? And I think that was a topic of Brandon Herrera too, right? With the visa program and Indians. Brandon Herrera put anything else out? Yeah. Nothing else today. Do they have a motive for the shooter yet? No, other than looking at his own shit. You can kind of come away with these, he hates everyone and anything. We already went into it. We went into it, looked at his whole manifesto, not the whole thing. I can't read it all because it's in Russian. I tried to Google Lens a little bit of it, but it's hard to do so. This is taxing news, dude. Like, dude, you can only imagine what it's like for the family just going through it all. Then you're going to have freaks that are going to... Also, too, I was noticing that people are saying this is a hoax. Like, ain't no Alex Jones shit here, chat. If you're new to the channel, ain't no Alex Jones bullshit. This is a hoax and the shooting is fake. Ain't no way. We're not playing that game either. I know a lot of y'all are playing that. This is not true. No. Nope. A lot of people that are just cooked, man. Just cooked. Yeah, InfoWars bullshit. We're not doing that here. Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Another day in America. The mass shooting rate of trans, non-binary, biological males is 8 times than Hispanic men. Source: I made it the fuck up. Laura Loomer, Minnesota shooter, lives in one of the most... Okay, didn't think of that far as... Hey, forgot about that. Hey, you thought about the Muslims? Yeah, the shooter lives in Muslim City. And there we have a Muslim problem. Bet you didn't think of that one. Hey, MAGA. Where's the anti-Islam hate? You forgot that one. Don't worry, Laura Loomer got it for you. So you're connecting that. What a way to connect that puzzle. So Minneapolis is a Muslim city, and he wrote anti-Jewish stuff on his weapons. Therefore, the shooter was a Muslim. He's in Ilhan Omar's district. We'll tell you we'll tell you. They're going full send on every single right-wing talking point about Minnesota today. Had nothing to say though when Melissa Hortman and her family were murdered by a MAGA assassin though. Remember that? Remember when Melissa Hortman was murdered and her family and their dog was killed and MAGA was like went into hiding because one of their own committed the act and they were pretending like it wasn't. They coped for like a day and then they were like, oh well, he did it, so I gotta pretend like, oh no, Tim Walz sent him to do it. Tim Walz sent Tim to do it, so Democrats, I don't care. I'm gonna go get drunk now. MAGA. I'm gonna go do a line. Remember that? Remember? Not a single word. Not a word from Trump either. Trump didn't mention it at all. So you can have that. You can have political assassinations. And a MAGA go into a politician's home and murder the whole family, the dog, and everything. Nothing. A Nazi mass shooter who is trans, a trans Nazi, and it's all about the fact that they're trans and Democrats and there's a bigger conspiracy and and this person who is psychotic had to have known that after they commit their act and their suicide with all of these different messages and the way that they understood the internet, that this was what was going to happen. So anything you're playing right into this fucking loser's plan posthumously. So good job. Playing right into his manifesto, actually. Incredible work. The Minnesota shooter was 100% dark woke. So, meanwhile, here's what the Russian tanky ACP left are saying. The Minnesota shooter was 100% dark woke, combination of progressive liberal values, DSA-style leftism, and neo-Nazism. American Azovism. Azovism from Haas. Jesus. Do you guys think that this is actually Ukrainian? How can we make this a Ukrainian? Somehow. See, but if you go to every single like propagandist, they're all going to say something different. They're either going to focus, this guy's Muslim terrorist. This guy's a Azov terrorist from Ukraine. Trans minor hormone. They're all going to have something crazy because this person designed it that way. They're schizophrenic based on what the writings were. I don't know if drugs were involved, and Didn't seem like they're using drugs, just vaping. But wrote all those hateful messages on there for this purpose alone. So didn't think that, you know, this shooter could end up being an Azovism. Didn't know that's a verb. Or what's an isms aren't a verb. What is that? What's isms? Liberal Nazis. Well, this is what, honestly, guys, we're gonna talk about I was gonna do a stream a couple days ago, about the Democratic Party and just like strategy around that. But you have a lot of people that are on the far left that believe that liberals are like Nazis, basically. So, and like a lot of people follow this person. And we have American communism. There's actually American Communist Party, but they regurgitate shit like this. There it is. All theory must be informed by practice. But well, there you go, MAGA. The far left guys are saying that it was the liberals and Ukrainian or American Azovism. So a couple of y'all in the chat that were like, this guy's a tanky leftist. The tanky leftists aren't claiming him. They're saying he's a American Azov lib. Nazi. Incredible. American Azovism's new, though. I haven't heard that one. You got Dan, who you'd argue is like liberal, more center left, maybe right a little bit, blaming Hassan. So you got Dan, it was a Destiny. I don't know if he's gonna work with Destiny still. We'll see though. But I mean, he's his friend. He's blaming Hassan in the far left. The further left of Hassan, which would be Haas, is blaming the middle of politics. The right wing's blaming the left, obviously. The left wing is rightfully like, whoa, this guy's a psychotic, or like people that are normal, I guess. Despicable. Minneapolis Jacob Fry mocks Christians. Mocking Christians. Breaking 911.
These were Minneapolis families. These were American families. And the amount of pain that they are suffering right now is extraordinary. And don't just say this is about thoughts and prayers right now. These kids were literally praying. It was the first week of school. They were in a church.
What was mocked? What was he mocking? He was saying thoughts and prayers are useless because they were literally in there praying when they were killed. So what are more prayers going to do? Provide nice words to people, I guess, that are religious, and they need to hear the Jesus words to help them feel better, I guess. And if that's what they need, I mean, whatever, to help their mental health. What was mocked there? Did Merck say he's friends with that? No, I don't know. No, I'm talking about Dan. His podcast co-host, who was blaming Hassan for the mass shooter. There, Dan. I don't know Destiny. His friend Dan was on his podcast host, with co-host. They're friends. And I'm saying Destiny's friend Dan is blaming Hassan, and then people that are further left than him, like Haas, who has the Russian flag in his bio, are blaming the liberals. And then the right are blaming all the left because trans people exist. Prayers don't work. The far left speaks about Israel in ways that are not much different than what Nick Fuentes says about Israel. Like what? Many are starting to listen to him, but you go being confused about the far left. I'm done. We're playing Metal Gear. I'm gonna go. I want fun conspiracies. I'm done with y'all. I'm done for the day. I want Metal Gear. I want Kojima conspiracies instead of real life. All right, we're going to this. I'm over it. Thoughts and prayers. I'm tired of reading it today. I have nothing else for you guys right now, anyways, in terms of current events or information. So let's get ready for Metal Gear. I want to be told about the Cold War and how Metal Gear was the reason, not trans 5G, DEI, Nancy Pelosi. I don't want to hear all that. I want Kojima to tell me what's going on. So that's what we're gonna do. Mark, when you can, check your Ukraine drone fundraiser link when you get a chance, because you can't make another donation. You can't. I want better conspiracies than real life gives me. This shit sucks. Works for me. See if I wanted to go donate. I'm seemingly getting everything here. Crashing out. I don't crash out anymore. I say it anymore because I definitely used to, like a couple years ago. I would be crashing out hard. No, I can't handle the stupid, and we've been covering this for 3.5 hours. I can only handle so much stupid in one day. Yeah, it's working for me. Sorry, Gene. Try to get no donations past August 20th. I just don't think people have contributed to it. I had to use PayPal because my credit card didn't work on the others. I'll ask them about it then. I'll reach out to them and say it's not working for some people. Okay. Well, let me know if you guys try today. If you want to support Ukraine, I'll put the links in the description of the stream. But here, you want to click that. We're doing a drone fundraiser to help the armed forces of Ukraine fight Russians. So I'll ask him tonight if there's something wrong with the link, but let me know if something's wrong with the link for you. And that'll be that. But anyways, all that to be said, that's all the news on the mass shooting we got. I don't think we're getting any further details. I got all of the information reposted on my social media though. So all of the Manifesto stuff, his YouTube videos that were deleted are on X. It's all right here. So if you truly need more, like you want to get into it, you can do that yourself. Okay. And watch all this all night long if you want. Maybe screen capture some of their, translate some of the pages and make sense of it if possible. But this person is a psycho. A psychotic loser. Depression, all of that combined, mental health on level 10, but also with the access to the firearms, because he legally bought firearms. It's a bad combination. When you have somebody that's an absolute freak in their mind, out of their mind, and then can buy firearms, this is what happens. Especially when they already had looks like ahead of time. At least it has to be verified, so I'm just going to say it looks like. Because we need the law enforcement and the officials to verify some shit. But it looked like there was premeditated motivations for this person to go and commit what they were going to do. And to have premeditated motivations and post it on social media, at least from what we think is out there on the internet, waiting for confirmation, but what it looks like, that to have what he was posting on social media and then be able to go out and buy a firearm should not happen. If you literally, like, I would, there's still some nuance in like that, because I don't want the government up in social media posts dictating if you can get approvals or not of stuff. But I would argue if somebody posts, I'm going to kill children in a church, that should disqualify you from, you should be put in prison. That's just me though. Freedom of speech, sure. But like, if you literally post that, if that's like what you're posting, I think you should at least be put on a watch list. So that way you're like, your posting's like, maybe they don't come after you for that. It's still a crazy thing to post. But you need to put on a list. And then if you're on that list of like, but then that's the problem is then the wrong government could wield that bad. That's why I'm careful about it. Because then say, obviously Trump or whatever, like MAGA get in there, then they could say, well, you posted you're gonna burn the flag, or like you posted Trump, and then they could come after you. So that's like a slippery slope. But I think like specifically, if you keep it to, if you have a social media user posting, I'm gonna go shoot up a school, or I'm gonna go kill children, they need to be like watched, or like put on a list and barred from being able to buy firearms. And it could be specific, but I'm aware of the slippery slope of like going off a social media post. But I just, this reality shouldn't exist, and something needs to happen. Something needs to happen. Funding to mental health and restrictions on firearms. Access to firearms needs to be restricted to people that are psychotic. Background checks, red flags, all that. People that can't pass them can't have a firearm. Is what it is. Learn how to wield a knife. I don't know. Learn how to wield a bow. You get good with a bow. I don't know. Well, you can't use a firearm though. It's got to happen. It just does, and there's nothing in being infringed on that. And no rights being fucking infringed. Because guess what? At the end of the day, if there were a tyrannical government, which weird. If there were a tyrannical government activating the military and sending them into cities to patrol our streets, y'all wouldn't do shit anyways. Because guess what? It's already happening. And y'all aren't doing shit. So I don't want to hear about this. It shall not be infringed. We need the Second Amendment to protect ourselves against a tyrannical government. Get the and you know, you just y'all ain't about that. But anyways, at the end of the day, say the government went full 1930s Germany mode and like started literally like military going into homes and shit and like taking people. At that point, at that point, if you can find a firearm to fight against a tyrannical government in that point, you're going to do it whether you could pass a background check or not. But until that moment, until the moment of like the government raiding homes and like taking over and you need to like literally fight or die, people that shouldn't have firearms should not have them. Period. And there's enough firearms in America to where if that happens, if America ever did fall into like the people versus the government, we got to do some like rebel shit, resistance shit. There's so many firearms. Firearms are pouring out of they're just, you'd be able to find them no problem in America. They're all over the place. So if you like are barred from firearms and you're like sad because you committed a felony or like you have mental health issues, we'll unleash your mental health problems on a tyrannical government with the Second Amendment when the time comes, I guess, if it does. But until then, your ass can't touch a firearm, right? Because people that are mentally psychotic shoot up schools with them. And and that's just the reality of the situation. Okay? And that needs to happen. So we need more background checks. We need more restrictions on people that should not have firearms. It's not an infringement on anyone's fucking rights. Because if you are doing the right thing and you're a legal gun owner and you have that and you have all the dots and you're crossing all your dots and your T's and everything's right, and you go to the range and you clean your weapon and you respect it and it's locked up properly, that ain't gonna affect you anyways, is it? Background, you can pass a background check. You can legally purchase firearms. You're fine. It's the people that should not have them. And especially as a firearm owner, you want someone like, you really want to risk that and have people out here that are psychotic with weapons? Actually, what do you is it a game? Like, oh, well, I got my firearms. They should have them too, so we can fight. Or I don't know what really? Don't you want your kids protected, or don't your kids safe? I mean, you have firearms to protect your family. You're supposed to. Or hunting or whatever, but most people have firearms to protect their family. But yet completely fine with psychos having firearms. Because my guns and my rights. It's stupid. You're just asking for problems or easy access to mass shootings like this. So two things can be true. Mental health bad, guns and unfettered restricted access to guns is also bad. Especially the fact that this person didn't just illegally acquire it. It's not like they just snuck the weapon. It was like, let me just go. They legally purchased the weapons from the store. Went there and bought them. So all that needs to be addressed. And until that happens, we're going to keep seeing mass shootings. We're going to keep seeing this happen over and over and over and over again. And we're going to have a few mass shootings a week like we're already doing. Mass shootings used to, I mean, this news is going to make more than usual because it involves children in a Catholic school and trans person. So this is going to for sure like be a hot button, but like we have mass shootings every week that just come and go. Happen all the time at this point. They don't make the news at all really anymore, or they will, and then it'll go away after an hour or two. And people are on to the next thing because the issue's never getting solved. And when that happens, people just get used to it. And then it really will never fix. So all that's true. Mental health bad. Access to firearms, the people that have bad mental health is also bad. And they shouldn't have those firearms. And we should also do a better job of getting firearms out of the streets. There are way too many guns in America. Way too many. And the access to them without any supervision or anything. They're just guns out here. Motherfuckers just got guns, dude. But until, I mean, it's going to take, I don't know, mass shooting in every city, I guess, maybe until people want to be done with it. I'm not on, we're not on part 3, we're on part 2. Did I have part 2 down? Nope. All right, y'all. I'm going to go eat and stuff. We're not going to stream right away. I want to put this out. We're going to start a lot earlier than last night, though. We are going to start a lot earlier than last night. If you enjoyed the coverage today or my take on things, subscribe to the channel. Notification bell on. I'm sure I lost a lot of subs because I didn't like go full on with the right wing. This person's trans and whatever, and they're mad at me because I pushed back at that. So I might have lost some subs. Let me see. Did I lose subscribers today for telling the truth? I hate when that happens. Oh no, we didn't move today. Wow. Wow, I got to say whatever I wanted and didn't lose subscribers for it. Today was a good day. It hasn't been going well though. I'm gonna tell you honest though. This is what happens when I tell the truth. I'm gonna hide that. You don't need to see that. Minus 106. When I do news to where I just sit here and like have the scanner going and I'm like relaying info, subscriber count up. When I talk about how Trump is like raiding cities and shit, when I talk about how Trump is like raiding cities and shit, minus 106. They hate that. So if you guys like truth, if you like no nonsense information, subscribe to the channel, notification bell on. Consider joining the Discord server. We got a great community. Our Renegades group on Facebook continues to grow. We're at like $12,500. Or excuse me, dollars. 12,500 followers on Facebook. So I appreciate everybody for being a part of that. I don't engage in it too often because Facebook keeps banning me from groups for making MAGA triggered. Then they report me, and then I get put in Facebook jail. So consider joining that too if you're on Facebook. We have a great community. So I appreciate you guys. Also, everybody supporting the Buy Me a Coffee link, thank you to that as well. I appreciate that. Let me schedule this stream here. Let's go for like we can go for 6. That way we get like 2 hours ahead. 2 hours from now. That way I can eat. I gotta go pick up my softball team jerseys and stuff too. They're done. We got new hoodies and stuff. I'll wear it on stream later. But any questions you guys have, join the Discord. You can at me, question what I if you're a certain membership level on YouTube, we can add each other on social media. Look into the benefits on there, but that's one of them. So consider that too. But have a good night, you guys. Thank you for watching. See you guys on the next one. Peace.